CBS Sports presents Angeles Rams.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Southern California. Boy, what a day. 78 degrees, only 15% humidity, no breeze, just a little bit maybe to cool it off, and a sold-out stadium here in Anaheim. You can see the 49ers lead this division 7-1. The Rams are 2 games back. The Rams must win this game and then, of course, try to beat San Francisco up in Candlestick Park. I'm Tom Brookshire, along with Wayne Walker. And Wayne, the 49ers are the team to beat. They're the champion right now. But they're actually probably not 100%. Francis is out, and they've got other problems, don't they?
Well, they do. You'd think this would be a tough week for the Rams because they played on Monday night and played away from home. They had to travel, lost the practice day. But the 49ers had 14 or 15 of their players come down with a flu bug this week, and they missed about 10 practices. So they also had a short week.
Now, Dickerson only worked out yesterday very lightly. The great ground gainer has 2 turf toes. 2 of them are sprained, but I have a feeling he'll take some of the pressure off young Kemp by running the ball pretty well today.
Eric Dickerson is the key, Ricky, to the offense of the Los Angeles Rams. He did not practice all week long. He ran a little bit at their practice yesterday. He has 2 bad toes, 1 on each foot, the big toe of each foot. And he, of course, is their key. They got to get it going with him. We'll see how he progresses and whether he can run full speed or not as this game gets going. So let's go right now to Brookie and get it underway.
All right, Wayne, we've got natural grass here and a very fast natural grass turf here at Anaheim. San Francisco won the toss. And by the way, the 49ers have won the last 3 games here at Anaheim against the Los Angeles Rams. That doesn't mean a lot right now, but you can see over the years in all these games that this is the way it is. 43, 23, and 2, but the last few games are the ones that are important. Monroe and Derek Harmon back to receive. Lansford will kick off, of course. Mike Lansford from the 35. The sun a little bit right now in the 49er receiver's eyes. It comes over the edge of the stadium here, which is sold out. And there are a few 49er fans, but they get the bad seats when you go on the road. They're in the end zone, aren't they, Wayne?
Well, at least they're all together, though. There's safety in numbers, I think.
A big ball game, boy, and the Rams are coming off a big Monday night win, and they are very bullish and very strong. Lansford's kick, taken by Harmon at the 7. Derek Harmon hit hard and gets about to the 20-yard line. The Rams said they've got one of the best kickoff coverage teams, and they prove it. Ivory Sully making the tackle on the first one. Here's the 49er offensive lineup. It's a good one. Montana, Wendell Tyler, who's averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Roger Craig, the leading receiver. Dwight Clark and Solomon. They're as good as they are, and Solomon says he's healthy to go. Earl Cooper in there, and tight end. Might not be able to run outside as well. Paris, Ayers, Quillen, Cross, and Keith Farnhorst going against Jack Youngblood again. First and 10 called. The misdirection, play-action pass. Montana Chase going deep for Solomon, overthrowing Solomon at the 31-yard line of Los Angeles. Leroy Irvin was in the wake. He looked open. Here's that defense. Jack Youngblood, maybe better than ever. At least Farnhorst says he's as tough as he's seen. Meisner at nose tackle. Reggie Doss will give Paris a pretty tough time from that right defensive end spot. Owens, Eckern, Collins, Andrews, hard-hitting linebackers. They play the run very, very well. Gary Green, one of the class cornerbacks. Irvin, Harris, and Cromwell. You'll see Johnny Johnson in there, too, the #1 pick a few years ago. Nehemiah Clark in the game now. Inside running play, not much. Rams are tough against the rush.
You bet they are. They got those 4 linebackers that you mentioned, and they all look like they came out of the same cookie cutter. They're all about 6'2", about 228 pounds. Play tough against the run. Bill Walsh, the 49er coach, concerned about this Ram defense, said that this Ram defense will smack you. And his team has got to be able to stand up to them physically.
There's Johnny Robinson out of SC, a great college career, and he moved into pro ball and turned his team around in one season. They went 9-7 and made the playoffs last year. He turned it around in a hurry. Here's the play-action pass. Montana being pressured. Off-balance throw, trying for Clark, and the crowd comes alive early. Gary Green had good coverage on Clark.
Didn't fool the Rams secondary at all because it was a play-action pass, but on 3rd down and 4 or 5 play-action's not going to hold anybody on defense.
And some good defensive ball club, particularly against the rush. They hold people to a little over 90 yards per game. That's plenty good in this league. Maxie Runniger into punt. It's a pretty good kick. Eller, the very dangerous punt return man at the 35. Gets away. That steps out at the 41. Los Angeles with the ball and the advantage early in this first quarter. Boy, their defense seemed to get perked up when they were introduced. Here's the offense for the Rams. Jeff Kemp from Dartmouth to the top of the NFL. He has not had an interception in 100 throws. Dickerson, one of the greats of all time in my mind. Gooman, the action man. Ellard and Drew Hill, very, very good speed on the outside for Johnson. There's David Hill at the tight end spot. Pankey, Hill, Smith, Hara, and Bill Bain, who's in there for a Pro Bowler, Slater at right tackle. They're big. Kemp doesn't want to throw too often, but he does on first down. A lot of time. Quick throw across the middle, and perhaps drop at the 38-yard line. Dave Hill has it, and the 49ers recover and run it back to the 40. That's Hicks.
Kemp was plenty of time on this one. Had David Hill, his tight end, wide open over the middle. Threw it out where he had to leap and stretch forward a little bit. Hill made a fine catch, then lost the ball coming down. Now, they say the ground can't cause a fumble.
Wow, he was down with that.
He went down with the ball. The
Good
49ers get the break, and that is the rule. They say the ground can't create a fumble, but it did that time.
Welcome, you people that have been watching Atlanta lose to Pittsburgh 35-10, a final score. We hope you're enjoying this one. You're not going to miss much of it. Montana sacked back at the 31-yard line. Eric Harris came from the safety spot.
The Rams told us on Friday when we were at their training camp, rookie, that they thought the key to beating the 49ers, especially Montana on offense, was to disrupt Montana. 5-step drops, a lot of that they thought they just keep him off balance by bringing people from everywhere on him if they could. And you see the first part of it right there. Safety blitz, Eric Harris, 26, coming from the left outside.
And Jack Youngblood had made pretty good penetration on Fawnhorse. And Keith Fawnhorse, who's a Pro Bowl tackle, says that this is as tough an afternoon as he has against Youngblood. Montana on second down now. Dropped in the flat, intended for Roger Craig, well covered by the Rams. They'll bring up a third down and 16.
They want to get Montana out of his rhythm, and it looks like so far they have.
The machine is sputtering a little bit right now. And this is a good offensive ball club. Very intelligent.
They'll give him that short pass, and the 49ers expected to get that short pass and then have the Rams close on it. The Rams are really delivering some blows out there right now.
Johnny Johnson and Newsom are in now. You'll get a nickel coverage. Third down and 16. And Montana is looking into a pretty good sun field right now. He's right into the sun. Clark and Solomon to the bottom of the screen. Montana with good protection. Gets it to Wendell Tyler at the 40, and the former Ram gets into Los Angeles territory. I think he got the first down.
Well, he did, and it was a good effort. Now, the Rams had that played almost perfectly on defense. Had 3 men out there on Tyler in the flat, giving him the short ball again. Playing their zones a little bit deep. Watch Montana looking over here. Nothing deep, so he drops it off to Tyler here in the flat. Watch the Rams converge on him. There'll be 3 of them out there when he gets the ball. But Tyler, just a great effort here. Now, this is the way to play the defense, but you can't beat that effort by Tyler.
The former Ram having his best start and makes it by a nip almost of the football.
Yeah.
That's how close. Wendell Tyler averaging over 5.5 yards a rush. Traded to San Francisco. Said last year he came in here and he just got so excited he played poorly against the Rams.
Well, he really was. He wanted to come back and show the people what he could do. And gosh, he wasn't even lining up in the right place last year in the ball game here. And Bill Walsh finally had to take him out.
First down just into Los Angeles territory for the 49ers. Nehemiah and Clark. The toss. Craig. Not much. To the 47-yard line. Let's go to New York City now and an update with Brent Musburger.
Rookie, 6 seconds to go. New Orleans with a chance to beat Cleveland. Morton Anderson, 53-yard field goal, and it's good. And Bum Phillips comes back to beat the Browns and their new coach, Marty Schottenheimer, 16-14. Back to Brookie.
Okay, Brent, and Bum can laugh for once, getting the last play to be for him. He lost that tough game to Dallas last Sunday night.
The players down there say it's not over until the old man spits. The old man is bummed.
That's the way they say it in New Orleans, right? Second down and 7 on the 47. Montana, quick drop. Complete at the 37-yard line. That's Nehemiah. Looks like he's learning the routes a little bit better. He stopped and pulled up in that little vacuum there.
That moderate range pass has been extremely good for Nehemiah because he comes in, they know he's got that world-class speed. They play him off a little bit, give him a cushion, and then he runs the turn in front of them and picks up the good yardage.
One of the fastest of all time. The high hurdles, he did a 12.9, 110-meter high hurdles. I can't believe that, but they say that was possible. He did it. First and 10 now on the 36. Out of the eye. That's a play-action pass. Montana going for Solomon, and it's almost intercepted at the 5-yard line by Leroy Irvin.
Well, Irvin wanted Montana to throw that ball there. He was kind of baiting him. He laid off of Solomon, made it look like he was open. When the ball was in the air, he closed and almost came up with the interception.
Are they playing pretty deep zones, the Rams? Do they stay back and sort of punish you maybe when you make the catch?
They do, and they can do that because of their good active linebackers.
As we've said, the excellent offensive line of the 49ers will be tested against these guys that are not overly large for Robinson's defense, but they're very active. Montana 2 of 6 now. Inside drive play. Wendell Tyler somehow finds a hole to the 31. Hard tackle put up there by Nolan Cromwell, the Pro Bowler. Told us yesterday he didn't want to become quite as nervous before the game as he did a year ago. This is not a homecoming. He said, we just need to beat the Rams.
Not a homecoming, just another game for me. That's what he said.
Much stronger inside runner than a lot of people believe. He's carrying over 200 pounds, about 2'7", and he can get you inside. Third down and 4 on the 30. Quick draw. Well played. Short of the first down. Roger Craig maybe made a yard and a half, but Collins read it perfectly.
The side linebacker did make a good read on that, stepped up and made the play. Here comes Ray Wershing in for the 49ers field goal attempt. Keep in mind, he does not look at the goalpost when he kicks. He lines up at the hash marks on the grass and won't look up.
He's 4 of 6 between the 30 and the 39. See where Montana's going to be holding it from the 36. It'll be a 46-yard attempt. Wershing's 3 of 5 from this distance. Well, it looks awfully good if it's long enough. Carried by a mile. And that cheer you hear is from the San Francisco 49er fans that are behind and in the end zone. Pretty good advantage, though, to come down on your second possession and get something on the board early. There's the coach of the new offense of the 80s, which is ball control with a short passing game. A masterful coach.
Kind of interesting, I think, too, that both these guys, Bill Walsh for the 49ers, John Robinson for the Los Angeles Rams, faced each other across the sidelines in college when Walsh was at Stanford and Robinson at USC.
10:22 left in the first quarter. Welcome, you people that have been watching St. Louis really lay it on the Eagles, 34-14. 10:22 in the first quarter left. 3-0 San Francisco lead. And we have not seen Eric Dickerson carry the ball for the Rams because they only had one play, which was a complete pass, Kemp to Davey Hill, and the tight end was called for a fumble, recovered by San Francisco. A little bit dubious on the fumble, don't you think?
I think so. He had control of it, hit the ground, and then it was out. He should have been called down there, according to most calls.
Drew Hill back to take this. Boy, the Rams special teams are perfect. This is Redden. Barry Redden out over the 23.5-yard line. Big collision there. And the Rams are a complete squad. They play the special teams as well as anybody in the league.
Redden, of course, number 30 that you're looking at right there, would be the man to come in and replace Eric Dickerson if Dickerson has a problem today with those toes that we talked about at the top of the telecast. And he's a pretty good runner himself, Redden is.
Pretty frustrated, too, because he's a great runner that simply has to watch one of the greatest runners of all time play. 20-yard return for Redden. Here is Jeff Frick. Said he's getting used to calling audibles, but hasn't done it much yet. First and 10 on the 23. Inside handoff. Eric Dickerson out over the 25. Maybe a couple of yards. Here's that defense. Lawrence Pillars in for Stuckey at left end. Tulian Sopo at nose tackle. Dwayne Board having a great year at right defensive end. The linebackers. Buns, Ricky Ellison. Jack Reynolds, a former Ram who's come home to haunt him, I guess, trying to. And Keena Turner, one of the greats. Well, look at the secondary. Lott Wright, Williamson, White Hicks, the cream of the crop. Second down, 7 on the 26. Dickerson. Wrapped up quickly by Lawrence Pillars.
49ers felt that if they could contain Dickerson today, and by containing him, they didn't want him to go over 120 yards. Bill Walsh said if he got 160, 170 yards, then he'd probably be controlling the game on him. But if they could keep him to a normal day of around 100, 120, they'd kind of feel like they did a pretty good job on him.
And no long runs, just holding him to a longer of maybe 20 yards or so.
He's the time bomb, though. Keep giving it to him. He'll break one sooner or later.
Robinson came in with a single back offense. Did it work? Look, he had over 1,800 yards rushing a year ago. Third down and 6 on the 27. Here's Kemp. Good throw. To a 37, enough for a first down. Mike Gooman making the reception. Williamson just couldn't keep the ball from traveling so fast.
I'll get any question about young Jeff Kemp's arm. He answered it for you right there. He burned it in. John Robinson said that Jeff Kemp right there you're looking at has one of the strongest arms he's ever seen, and he said he has a short stroke. Which he means quick release. And he said, and everything he throws is a 2-iron. Gets there in a hurry.
He said he can't take a lot off and lob it over people. He throws it right through people. No interceptions and 102 throws. It's quite a record for a young quarterback out of the Ivy League. First and 10 on the 38. Fake to Dickerson. Kemp now being moving left. Good-looking runner. Gets to the 44-yard line diving. Keena Turner tackled him there.
Jeff Kemp said that the pressure on me now is slim. He said, there was a lot of pressure on me my first start. But he said, that's all behind me now, and all I got to do now is stay with the game plan. This shows you that he's got some pretty good mobility back there, a lot like the guy that's playing on the other side to Montana. They'll get second looks at the defense and make things happen like this.
Kemp is 6'1", he says, about 203 pounds, but a good athlete. And looked like a college junior. He might talk to us at the Ram Complex. Second down and 5 on the 43. Kemp, a lot of time. Spiked by Keena Turner, intended for number 87. That's Drew Hill, who was coming through the formation.
Kemp did a nice job, though, of looking the defense off that time. He was concentrating down the middle, and right at the last swung his eyes over to the left, and Keena Turner jumped up and got a hand on it.
Kemp is 2 of 3. He said his father, the congressman, kicks the television set when he's watching at home, saying, come on, get the big guy to get a first down rushing so you don't have to throw it all the time.
Yeah, he said his dad, he wants to talk politics with his dad, but his dad wants to talk football now.
Third down and 5, facing the young quarterback. He has won 4 of his last 5 games. A lot of time. Dumps it to Hill at the 47. Good defensive play. I believe it's short of the first down. Ellison was right there. Welcome to the people that have been watching the Green Bay Packers get their offense on track. Green Bay 41-9 over Detroit. We welcome you to the beautiful climate here in Southern California. It's a gorgeous afternoon for football, and the Rams have certainly come to play. 3-0 San Francisco, a field goal by Wergin, the only score in the first quarter. Dana McLemore, a very dangerous return man back, and Johnny Misko's first punt for Los Angeles. Misko gets a high punt, big hang time, and they cover. Tremendous kick. McLemore's going to let it hit at the 4 and goes into the end zone. That almost hit that blimp that's been going by all day. A 53-yard punt. 3-0.
Jerry, Pam's back.
And she's ready to take on the world again, thanks to Liberty Mutual. After her back was seriously injured on the job, a Liberty Mutual rehabilitation nurse worked with Pam's doctor to coordinate her medical care. That also controlled insurance costs, but Pam is the best result. The Liberty Mutual Rehabilitation Nurse Program. One way we're going to be there for you.
Armstrong, send this barbell to Pittsburgh by Federal Express.
Yes, Mr. Atlas. Hi, girls. Does Federal carry something this heavy, Bull?
Gee, I don't know. Hey, Brutus, check the rate book. I think it's under the safe.
Sure thing, Bull.
A lot of people think Federal Express carries only itty-bitty packages. They carry the big stuff, too, all the way up to 150 pounds. Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
Back in Anaheim, California, where the Angels play baseball and the Rams do play football. 65,000 plus. All tickets were sold. Blackouts are lifted, and the game is on. Handoff on the sweep. Tyler stacked up at the 21-yard line. Wendell Tyler, who said without Russ Francis, he might not be able to get outside this week because the tight end cuts off the inside linebackers on that sweep.
And without question, the 49ers to a man have claimed that Russ Francis is the best blocking tight end in the National Football League.
What did he do? Jam his neck, didn't he, against Houston? Huh?
Did. Inside linebacker here now. That's Collins, number 50. Watch him work through the traffic. Leads this team with 105 tackles. That's about 30 more than anyone else.
Active linebackers. As we said, under 100 yards rushing. That's the average this team is allowed. Quick handoff. This is Roger Craig. Finds his own hole to the 29. But gang tackle there, and the Rams are swarming. Cromwell made the first contact.
Big Jack Youngblood took an inside move on Keith Fahnhorst that time. Had an arm around Craig in the backfield, but Craig ran right through that. Youngblood and Keith Fahnhorst going at each other up there in the trenches for, I think, the 22nd or 23rd time of their careers that they've played against each other. 85 Youngblood, 71 Fahnhorst. They have a battle year in, year out.
We reminded him of it yesterday, and Keith said, thanks a lot. I'd almost forgotten what I had to do tomorrow. Third down inches, short yardage, pass action, play action by Montana, screens it out to John Frank. Frank gets the first down and gets out to the 37 where the battle continues.
Yeah, John Frank was very impressive for the 49ers in preseason, Tom. He hasn't had a whole lot of playing time during the regular season, but the rookie from Ohio State proved that he could catch it, and he's a tough cookie, too.
Well, you just can't play at Ohio State unless you like to hit people. Catching the football is about the last thing they teach you at State, isn't it?
He blocked on the line that time for 2 or 3 counts and then kind of drifted out in the flat, and he was the safety valve. Montana found him.
Montana is so cool, though. He acts like there's absolutely no pressure on him when he calls a play like that. It's the reason he's a $1 million quarterback. First and 10, out on the 37. Kept the backs in. Now Montana's being chased, gets away. Inside the 45, out to the 46-yard line.
Montana's just got a sixth sense back there. He felt Reggie Doss, number 71, bearing down on him, and I don't know how he saw him, but he did a little hop and a skip move and jumped right over his arms.
Number 3 draft after winning the national championship at Notre Dame. Spent a couple of years watching DeBerg win and lose games, and then suddenly said, I think I'm going to be your quarterback.
Watch this move by Montana coming up here. Now 71, Reggie Doss will appear. Watch this move Montana makes right there.
That's slippery. Second down and 1 on the 46. Inside handoff to the fullback, Craig. He's got speed. Craig into Los Angeles territory, diving. Jim Collins barely able to make the stop.
Pretty nifty bounce out right there by Craig, who has spent most of this season blocking for Wendell Tyler. Hasn't carried the ball all that much, but he's catching the ball extremely well. You see, he has 78 rushes, but in the last 3 weeks coming into this game, he's got 21 passes.
First and 10. Ball is on the Los Angeles 49. Craig has 20 yards on 5 carries. The fake sweep, play action. Montana hits Solomon, who drops the ball at the 27-yard line.
Right on the money, too. Now, here's Solomon working against Gary Green, a cornerback. To take it into the post pattern now. The safety's not over there yet. It's right on his hands. And then it's gone.
2:45 left in this first period. A Ray Wersing field goal, the only margin. And both teams have said we've got to come in here and be very physical. And the Rams, of course, more so, because they are 5-3, the 49ers 7-1. Ring is in the game on second down and 10. Montana. Montana now dashing out. Collared at the 46-yard line.
Montana, the keeper, is dropped.
Mel Owens, the outside linebacker, number 58. He was talking about Montana for us on Friday. He said Montana's different when he gets in trouble back in the pocket. You can see right here with Owens meant. He says he'll scramble, but he never takes the ball down. He's always ready to throw it. And Owens 58 comes over and secures.
Owens, Eckering, Collins, and Andrews, they are really belligerent. Those four are bad people to go up against. Collins from Syracuse, Andrews from Nebraska, of course. Third down and 6. Crowd yelling now for a little defense. Drop back. A lot of time for Montana. Ooh, Clark is interfered with at the 30-yard line. Leroy Irvin climbed his back.
He wanted to call, but did not get it. And I know you agree with me, Ricky, as we look at this. It's Leroy Irvin, 47, Dwight Clark, 87. You know, a little contact like this is okay for the game. I mean, they're going for the ball, and it is a collision sport.
And nobody worries about defensive backs. You got to do what you've got to do. Rudiger into punt. There's Jack Youngblood. 14 seasons in a Ram uniform, and every one of them with respectability and honor. Huh?
Hasn't missed a game. Number 96 today.
That's a lot of games. And all first class. First and 10 from the 20. A toss back to Eric Dickerson. He's got the corner made. Dickerson breaks outside for a moment, gets to the 34-yard line. Hicks and Lott met him there.
Oh, a solid wall blocking that time by the Rams offensive line. David Hill, number 81, the tight end, got an excellent block on the outside that got Dickerson around the corner.
A 14-yard scamper. He's only behind Walter Payton going into today's game by 36 yards. Of course, Wendell Tyler, Wendell the Spindle from San Francisco, is down there in 5th, averaging 5.5 a shot. 19 yards on 3 carries for this man out of Sealy, Texas. What a machine. 218 pounds. And fast. Hit hard at the 35. Wayne Board stacked him up. There's only one person on this team they claim that can outrun Dickerson. And that's the Olympic.
We know who he is.
That's Brown.
Brown. And look at Keena Turner, 58, though, with the penetration that time on that short trap. And he's the one that messed up that play for the 49ers. Good job back there on the blitz.
Tough play for the rookie quarterback. I guess I can call Jeff Kemp that.
Sure, I think so.
Tough play. He's won, like I said, 4 out of 5 games. But he's facing a very intelligent defense. He's almost got to put it up this time. Brown is there. The fake. Kemp throws a rifle.
A lot of balls dropped already in this game. That was right on the money, too, to Henry Ellard.
Well, and I wondered if he's looking back into that sun. It looks to me like that's you really see that sun coming over that roof edge there. Shadow's pretty long when you look at those players running across the middle. That ball was right on, but it was hummed, wasn't it?
Sure was. John Robinson was right about his arm. He really gunned that in there.
So if you ever see an interception of a Kemp pass, it's going to be right in somebody's forehead, stuck. Now it's 3rd down and 9. Kemp going the same area, strike. And at the 40-yard line, it's number 80. Ellard makes the catch this time, and what a throw by young Kemp.
His zone defense for the 49ers. Watch Ellard in motion now. Now he starts upfield. 3 receivers right there, each looking for a seam. And Ellard finds it, and the ball's right there.
Ball delivered firmly and in there. And the last play of the first quarter brings up a crowd. San Francisco 3-0. The Rams are on the march.
Me and the crew, we're taking this road across Alaska. And we haven't even gotten to the hard part yet. I guess you could say we're hooking up the last frontier to the lower 48. Yeah, working up here, it's different. See, this road's got to be able to handle an Alaskan freeze. And then, the thaw. I'll tell you, when it's finished and it's on the map, we can say we did that.
It's for guys like T.J. Donahue that we make sure every Budweiser is the best it can be. Made with the choicest ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and brewed with the kind of pride T.J. puts into his work. So to T.J. and all you guys out there like him, this Bud's for you.
In this uncertain and bewildering world of personal computers, the Tandy 2000 stands apart. In power, speed, and graphics, the Tandy 2000 is clearly superior. For service, support, and so
off the ball and looked for the hole that was opening up. Dwayne Board got there quickly.
Well, these are the situations now that John Robinson wanted to avoid for his young quarterback, Jeff Kemp. They're in a 2nd and 10 situation now. The extremes, he said, to see Dickerson lose the handle. But when you got a guy like Dickerson, I don't know whether, 2nd and 11 is extreme. You can hand it to him, and he can get you 8 or 9.
In 2 carries, he can get you 10.
Sure.
That was a good toss. I think he just took his eyes off of it.
You're right.
A single back offense. Robinson brought it in from SC, and it's working, isn't it? Here's the quick draw. Dwayne Board really nailed Dickerson. They claim there's a fumble. Let's go to New York right now. An update with Brent Musburger.
Brookie, the Giants strike first against the Redskins, and it's Sims now. He is looking for Ernest Gray, and he's got him for the touchdown, 22 yards. 7-0, Giants head the Redskins. Back to Brookie.
NFC East looks like it's going to be a battle all the way this year. Nobody's coming to the top and stayed there.
And it's nice to see young Phil Simms staying healthy, too, for a season.
Hasn't been healthy for a full season. Maybe this will be the one. Brown is in, and Otis Grant. Kemp now on a tough call. 3rd down and 11 on the 42 of San Francisco. That's Gooman. Kemp getting time, now being chased. Dumps it to Dickerson at the 40. Dickerson hit hard at the 38-yard line. Dwight Hicks met him helmet to helmet.
Dwight Hicks and Jeff Fuller on the end of the stop. Watch it from ground level here, and you'll see what they mean about Kemp's mobility. Gets out a little jam here, and then flips it out in the flat on the move. Pretty good throw to the man he wanted to get it to. But the 49ers converge. Good team defense. 49 is Fuller.
Isco will be punting for the corner. He's had 13 out inside the 20 so far this year. And he does get hang time. They don't run many back. He gets in. He went down the middle of the fairway and drove it right through the corner. Didn't take anything off of that one. He's 6'5". He's a big fellow for a punter. It's 3-0.
This year, 1 out of every 6 cars will need to have its brakes repaired. That's why at Midas, we offer a free brake inspection. If your car needs work, you know it's being done by experts. 500,000 people a year have their brakes fixed at Midas, and we're glad to have the business. But more important, we appreciate the trust.
Trust the Midas touch.
Suppose we should think about some home insurance.
I build them. I don't insure them. But Liberty Mutual covers my place with lots of ways to save on the premium. Liberty Mutual.
Save on the premiums.
To save with smoke alarms. Put deadbolt locks on the entry doors. There's all kinds of ways to save. It adds up.
Good advice.
No charge.
For a real value in homeowners insurance, Liberty Mutual is going to be there for you.
Season number 6 at the helm. Been president of the ball club now, and every week the people are laying for the 49ers because they're the team to beat. How do you get them up every week? Here's Montana going outside, knocked away beautifully at the 35.
Well, he can cover.
That's Gary Green.
He can cover.
He's got 4.4 speed for the 42. Nehemiah was the intended receiver. Kansas City, a final 24-20 over Tampa Bay. Well, Kenny had quite a day throwing in that one. The Giants, as Brent told you, leading the Redskins in the first quarter. Miami over Buffalo 7-0. You know who has thrown a touchdown pass? Mr. Marino is 25th. Raiders 2-0 over Denver.
Down the freeway.
That's right. Sounds like it's in the snow of Denver, but it's not. Inside handoff. Tyler to the 24-yard line, but not much room in there for Wendell Tyler.
Just a good hustling defense out there on the field for the Rams. You know, John Robinson says that they have a good work ethic. You know, they're not physically overpowering. They know they can't physically dominate. They spend a lot of time film study, and they hit and they hustle, and that's all you can expect. Wendell Tyler looks like he has something going here, and then watch the blue shirts close in on him.
And as we've said before, the 49er offensive line is not a finesse line. They're extremely physical and tough. The Rams are playing them dead even. 3rd down and 6 facing Montana. On the 24, Montana. Oh, a great catch by Solomon. Barely got his hands up in time, but Solomon, with that quick move, beat the linebackers.
Solomon coming off a hamstring injury. He had missed a couple games and played last week in Houston for the first time in a couple of weeks, but pressed into major service today because the guy that picked up for him, Mike Wilson, is not suited up with a bad knee.
Freddie's wheels look bad till he runs by you, you know. He looks like he's limping and fooling around.
Wearing black shoes today, too.
Big play person. That's right. 1st and 10 for the 49ers on the 32. Montana adjusting. Now running. Safely out of bounds into the San Francisco bench. Chased there by Mel Owens. He's your friend from Michigan.
Yeah, good kid, wasn't he?
Grew up watching what he called the animals of the Detroit Lions. You guys, right?
Well, he said he lived pretty close to the stadium there. His dad, a high school coach in the area.
Oh, he could have grown up a long time while you were playing. You only played 15 seasons, right?
Born when I was a rookie. You had to mention it, didn't you?
I didn't say that. As we've told you earlier, the Rams are the best against the rush. Less than 100 a game. 2nd down and 8 on the 34. Montana wanting to be chased out. Now he's going to throw it away. Obviously a popular decision.
The linebackers were after him. It was Collins coming up from the inside, number 50, and then Owens from the outside. Were the ones that had the pressure on Montana that time.
What was he thinking? Screen there? Was he trying to screen back to somebody and they just got him tackled in there somewhere?
Couldn't tell. I don't think he had a whole lot of time to think anything because they pressured him right away.
3rd down and 8 on the 34. Montana is 4 of 12. He's had a couple maybe dropped. 43 yards.
But he picks up a little bit, Montana does. He's got 15 yards rushing, so he helped himself out that way. He's not having a real good day with the arm.
This defense has stopped the rushing game so far, except for Montana. The slant pattern to Clark. Clark has the 1st down and gets to the 47-yard line. Let's go to New York City in an update with Brent Musburger.
And Brookie, the Giants have just struck again. Morris goes in now, and Joe Theismann will throw the ball 40 times to try and get the Redskins back in this. They trail by 14. Back to Brookie.
The Giants, with a big win, would go 5-4. And everybody's thinking wild card. If you can't win the division, get second best. The Rams, though, would like to beat San Francisco here at Anaheim and then go back up to Candlestick Park and try to do it again later in the year, the last game. Here's the quick draw. Tyler gets away from a couple of Rams, but no way. Jim Collins and Nolan Cromwell rode him out there.
Watch it here. This is a play that the 49ers have been using the last 2 or 3 weeks with great success. It's kind of a draw trap. Wendell Tyler, Roger Craig, 33 out in front, kind of leads through the hole. But as we mentioned, that quick Ram defense, they converge. 50 was Collins, 21 Cromwell.
They're ganging.
The rest of the bandits over there, too.
Looked like Reggie Doss might have gotten the inside on Paris, too, the big tackle. It sort of broke the play up early. 2nd down and 10, call it on the 48. Montana to Solomon at the 41-yard line of Los Angeles.
Gary Green, the cornerback over there, who Freddie Solomon worked on that time, you know, is not really that familiar with the 49er personnel because he was in Kansas City and had only played against the 49ers once. He said that's probably going to bother him a little bit because he just doesn't know the little things that Solomon and Dwight Clark do. He's going to get some on-the-job training there today, but Gary Green, number 27, one of the good ones in the National Football League. He's a Pro Bowler.
All of Montana's completions have been for 1st downs. It's another one to the Los Angeles 41. Boy, what's some offense? They can spread it around so much, it's hard to shut it off. The fake draw, and he's nailed at midfield.
Safety blitz again.
Gary Green came from the outside, and Montana knew he was.
Oh, the safety blitz. It's actually a cornerback blitz. No time at all. Green 27, untouched. Montana play action. Wants to look downfield and can't even do that because he has to cover up so quickly.
Real good trade by Robinson and Faulkner and the people here with the Rams that gave the Kansas City team a number 1, and they got a cornerback that is so established and so smooth and so articulate. Gary Green's quite a young player. We just saw an example of his versatility. Second down and 19, right on the 50. Montana dumps it across the middle. It's number 32, Monroe. The flags are down. It's going to be pretty close to a first down, but there are flags all over the place. It was Roger Craig instead of Carl Monroe. A lot of action right at the moment of truth at the 31. Uh-oh. What does Wall say? There hasn't been a flag yet now in 25 some odd minutes of football.
It was an illegal block by the offensive team after they had caught the ball and started the run.
Illegal block. Somebody downfield trying to assist the ball carrier, which we thought was legal all the way along, obviously. The officials, by the way, Bob Frederick, an old friend of mine, is down there, and he doesn't like to pull out the flag very much. He likes to keep flags in and let people play, as long as they play fair. 8:26 left before halftime. Second down and 10. Montana rolling right. Solomon on the out, has it, stepped out of bounds. At the 26-yard line.
Gary Green, they worked on him again over there. And what he told us on Friday week when we were talking to the 49ers, taking some nasty splits. Solomon will be out in an area of about 8 or 9 yards split off his tackle, and it puts you in a real bind because you can't use the sideline to help you. That time Solomon took him inside and then broke it to the sideline, but look how much room he had before he got there. So he was in that nasty split area that Green was talking about. If they split out too far, the cornerback can actually use the sideline to help him.
That's true. Solomon now with his third catch. Looks like he's coming back with vengeance today. First and 10 on the 26. Inside fake by Montana. A lot of time. Threw it behind Earl Cooper just a little bit. This guy's a pretty good pass receiver, too, but it looked like it was a little bit underthrown.
This ball will be behind him, and we'll see him isolated here. Cooper making the start today for Russ Francis. Cooper was the 49ers' #1 draft choice 5 years ago at fullback. But that ball was behind him. Montana wanted to go deep to Solomon in the end zone. He was covered. Cooper was the secondary receiver.
Unlike young Kemp, Joe will take a little bit off once in a while and make the ball very catchable. He just threw that one a little away from the intended receiver. Second down and 10 on the 26. The backs are out. Montana going for the corner and overthrows Clark at the 5. Wide open.
I think he called an audible to line of scrimmage that time. Montana did. Now, it looked like Clark was wide open here as Gary Green dropped back and played kind of a deep zone, but you'll see Eric Harris, number 26, perhaps you'll get to see him. Look at him dropping right there. See his drop in front of Clark? Now, when Clark makes the out move, he's got Eric Harris in front of him about 7 or 8 yards, and Montana had to throw it over Harris to get it to Clark, and that's why it was high and wide.
Boy, what a pattern by Clark. He looked inside like he was looking for the ball. 8:10 left before half. Two tremendous football teams and only 3 points scored. A Worthing field goal. Montana with 8 completions already. Across the middle. Complete to the 17. I think that's Cooper that made the reception. Jim Collins was on his back.
Here it is right now. It'll be short of the first down for the 49ers. Good job up front. Now, Montana's got all day, and he's just going to find somebody when he has that much time, and it's Cooper over the middle.
Everybody looks for a little crack. That offense, those receivers are so good at the option courses. Now Worthing in to try to nail down another field goal. You see the numbers on the man they call Mo Sheen Worthing. 36-yard field goal attempt. Randy Cross snaps it. It's good. Made make a decision on the 49ers where they place this ball after the penalty.
You know, it is against the 49ers, and what they've been calling a lot here in recent games has been illegal formations. I wonder what this one is.
Offensive holding, number 86, a repeat of 4th down.
It's John Frank.
He saw the holding. He saw the holding.
I enjoyed speaking with him, sitting down Friday and sort of talking about where football is going. We'll try to discuss some of it later. 46-yard field goal attempt by Wergy. You don't like the one from 36. How about a 46? It's called a nail. It's 6-0 with 7:17 left.
You know people like us, we're teachers. Firemen, people just like you. These are the uniforms we wear at work.
But these are the uniforms we wear when we serve part-time in the reserves and the National Guard.
You see, in the reserves and the Guard, you not only serve your country,
You're part of a first-rate team.
training alongside real buddies,
Yet while you serve, you can live at home.
and keep your full-time job.
Because in the reserves and the Guard, you don't have to give up one life to live another.
The Reserves and the National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter.
Hey, go this way.
Honda invented three-wheelers so families could have more fun together in the wintertime or any time of year. If you want your family to have more fun this winter, see the world's most complete line of three-wheelers. They're at your Honda dealer.
How far is our Honda dealer, Daddy?
Just keep walking.
There's Johnny Robinson, the great SC coach, replacing McKay, and came in here and took the team 9-7. They upset Dallas before losing to Washington. He's done some job.
Yes, he has. You know, of course, he was the coach at USC for so many years. And this was great for him to be able to come down here in Anaheim and coach the Rams. All he had to do was take a different freeway to work.
Just get a little bit more mileage on it. Wergy now with 6 straight field goals. Attempted and made, kicks off. Drew Hill, 3-yard deep in the end zone and runs it out. Drew Hill out over the 20 and gets to the 27. What a run now. Took a lot of nerve to bring it out. Ring tackled him there. These Rams are not going to back off. And they're only a touchdown away. It's 6-0.
Cadillac didn't have to give the 1985 Fleetwood and DeVille the world's only front-drive transverse-mounted V8. But they did. Cadillac didn't have to back these cars for 4 years or 50,000 miles. But they did. Cadillac didn't have to add a new standard high-mounted stop lamp in the rear window. But they did. You don't have to fall in love with the most advanced Cadillac ever. But you will.
Best of all, it's a Cadillac. While I race those lines, everybody knows. Take a taste sometime, you'll be wild about the road. Wild about the road. While I race those lines.
Wednesday, a woman is consumed by burning passion for one man and deadly hatred for another.
He has the eyes of a rapist.
Kevin Dobson stars in Sweet Revenge.
Next Sunday on CBS, it all starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time. Then you'll see the New York Giants face the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles will meet the Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay takes on Minnesota, or Green Bay against New Orleans. Those of you in Southern California, sunny Southern California, and most of the Midwest will see these same LA Rams meet the high-scoring St. Louis Football Cardinals. 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific Time. That's NFL action here on CBS next Sunday. It's quite an agenda. That's a good lineup for next week. And right here, we've got a 6-0 San Francisco lead. Doug Kemp and the Rams have them all.
And they got Ron Brown, the flyer, in the game, down the bottom of your screen.
1st and 10 on the 28. Straight drop to Brown, just mentioned by Wayne Walker. Let's see, underthrown a little bit as Dwight Hicks was a little bit late coming up, but you might want to be late coming
Did you see the cushion they had on him? No, Ronnie Lott was playing about 10 yards on him.
The quarterback, Vince Ferragamo, took this team, the Ram team, to the Super Bowl in '79. But this year they were 1-2 when he fractured his finger, and Kemp has been in control since. Of course, Ferragamo not dressed for the game. Second down and 10 on the 28. Kemp's toss back to Eric Dickerson. Dickerson makes a couple of people miss, and then his game tackle at the 31. Too many people to even make a call on that. A lot of red and white shirts. On the left, the Rams, third offensive rush, 14th passing. I think Robinson would like to keep it that way, wouldn't he? Defense against the rush, San Francisco's 5th in the NFC, 12th against the pass. Matches up pretty well.
Pretty similar defenses, too. They're real active, and they hustle when they hit.
0 interceptions for this young man. He's trying to figure out this San Francisco defense. It's clever. Kemp throwing for a receiver. That's Gooman at the 38-yard line. Ricky Ellison was breathing right on his shoulder pads.
A good play on him, too. Gooman, of course, is the man, the U-back, they call it here, that's in motion most of the time. And on running situations, he'll go in motion and block. Passing situations, he'll go in motion, go out in a pattern. That time he ran a circle over the middle, and Ricky Ellison, the young linebacker, right with him.
Now, Dana McLemore can give San Francisco pretty good edge here with a good run back. He's standing back on the San Francisco 27, and Misko is going to be kicking from about the Los Angeles 20. Kicks them very high, and the coverage is incredibly good. This is high. It's a little bit short. McLemore, 4 catches at the 35. Advantage San Francisco. Good return men here in Ellard and McLemore, 2 of the best in the league, 1 and 2. A 34-yard punt, no return. It's 6-0 San Francisco.
Dear Xerox, I want to thank the memory writer for making my job a pleasure.
Everything I type looks like $1,000,000.
The secretary who sits next to me will have to get her own. I don't like to share it that way.
These are actual letters from secretaries all over the country.
It's cut my workload in half and doubled my productivity.
When we have to use another machine, it's like going from a Rolls Royce to a mule.
And that's why no electronic typewriter sells better than the memory writer. Part of Team Xerox.
All Out is the only way you go. And it earns you the rewards of success. Naturally, that includes the car you drive. Distinctive, elegant. Seville goes all out to achieve your high goals for luxury travel. Drive the 1985 Seville, the car for those who, like you, choose to go first class all the way.
Best of all, it's a Cadillac.
X's and O's. The real good coaching staffs can sometimes change a philosophy in the middle of a game and not lose the intensity. Showing some kind of a offensive set they want to get into to handle Ricky Ellison and Hacksaw Reynolds, those linebackers for San Francisco. Right now, San Francisco has the ball. This is Tyler sweeping. Oh, man, good play by number 47. Leroy Irvin came up from the corner spot and nailed Wendell Tyler.
They're playing good defense against the run right now. The Rams are. George Andrews, number 52, the right outside linebacker, made a good play, got it turned in for Irvin.
And Wendell Tyler said yesterday, without the big tight end Russ Francis, it's not easy to run wide. Miami 14-0, Marino's 26th touchdown pass. He's now 10 behind Y.A. Tittle, and who's the other one? Oh, pretty good quarterback. Second down, 12.
They were both old when they set that record. Marino's what, only 24 or something like that?
He's as big as a tackle, too. Here's Bob Frederick's call.
False start, number 51 on the offense.
Randy Cross. He had a little holding problem last week, too. Against Houston. They get mad because they think they're playing with the same rules all the time, and suddenly they get...
Look how he's got that shirt tucked in at the sleeve so the defensive lineman can't grab a hold of him.
Some player out of UCLA. He's about as good a pulling guard as you're going to find. Second down, 17. Back on the 29 now. Montana just barely gets it into the crease at the 36. Frank really got hit after he made the catch. Carl Eckern was there. This Ram team has 10 first-round picks and 9 second-round picks. They got 19 quality first and second-round people on there. This is a good football team.
Eckern's a guy that calls the defensive signals out there for the Rams. Good student of the game. Played at San Jose State. Led in tackles last year, but Collins has that honor so far this season.
Young Frank got some punishment, and now it's 3rd down and 10. The ball is on the 36. Montana's offense has gotten 2 field goals, period. The blitz is on. A great pass to Craig. Look out to the out of bounds. Is he free? Roger Craig down the sidelines. Cutting back inside and looks like a touchdown. Are there any flags?
What an effort.
And a great little off-speed throw by Joe Montana.
Yes, and you know who had the coverage on Roger Craig out in the flat before the Rams had a blitz on it? It was Jack Youngblood, the defensive end, actually had the coverage on Craig, and he just couldn't stay with it.
A 65-yard touchdown pass. Montana to Craig. Craig had caught a touchdown pass against the Eagles earlier in the year. We know he has great speed, but he went down there and looked like a relay man.
Well, they caught the Rams in a defense they didn't want to be in. With Jack Youngblood in on pass coverage.
Somebody is down, one of the secondary men that kept chasing, and the Rams didn't give up on the chase. They chased him into the corner and flushed him back out to make a tackle, and that's Eric Harris down.
The touchdown is good. Demonstration for spinning the ball was a performance of a 5-yard penalty on the following kickoff by the team that scored.
I refuse to comment on spinning the ball in the end zone being a penalty, but Mr. Frederick just informed us that's what it was.
Watch the throw here out to Craig, and look who's out there trying to cover number 85, Jack Youngblood. Look right there. That's a defensive end on a halfback, and you're not going to get it done. So they took a gamble, and it didn't pay off for the Rams, but it certainly did for the 49ers. 6 points all the way down the sideline. A pretty good effort here at the end as he cuts back in. Eric Harris gets him around about the 7-yard line, and Craig made a good tough run there the last 5 or 6 yards.
The 3rd touchdown catch for Craig. Wow, what a play. 12-0.
Where are you hurting the most, Jimmy?
Name it. Better straighten up.
Yeah, we don't want to disappoint your fans.
No.
Hey, Jimmy, good run.
You had him right from the gate.
Your best deserves the best.
Two Bud Lights.
The less filling light beer with a first name in taste.
Hey, Jimmy!
Right.
Bud Light.
You know why I come to CarQuest Auto Parts stores? This man, the CarQuest qualified counterman. He's got hundreds of thousands of parts, and I can't tell you how often he's helped me out.
CarQuest can help with professional-grade brakes from Rebestos. When professionally installed, Rebestos brakes...
Specialist design helps keep it from dripping, so it lasts and lasts and lasts. Delta Faucet. We're first because we last.
Sunday, after 60 Minutes, who's framing Jessica for a Hollywood homicide? John Astin, Melissa Sue Anderson, Samantha Eggar, or Claude Aiken? Murder, she wrote.
Eric Harris, making the spinning tackle attempt on Craig, was helped into the dressing room. We've got about 4:30 left before the halftime.
And here's what they penalized Roger Craig for.
Spinning the ball, huh? That didn't seem to be too exuberant to me. 65-yard touchdown. It awakened everybody here at the ballpark, all 65,000 plus.
Where's a little happy, don't you?
Montana's hole on the 10. The fake. Montana now dumping it over, and it's intercepted and no extra point. Keep that in mind now. Those points can become very important.
Tom, did he have a problem with that snap? I could tell whether Montana had a problem handling the snap, because it certainly wouldn't have been a design play on an extra point here. The snap was low, right? He just couldn't get a handle on it. Wershing sees that. He yells fire. And that means everyone up front pass block for Montana, and somebody get out and see what they can do. John Frank and Shields, the big tackle out there, who was eligible that time because he was blocking in the end position on the line.
I wonder if that goes down as an INT on the books. It's 12-0.
The Honda Accord hatchback can handle the hairpin at Sears Point. The S's at Lime Rock. The straightaway at Daytona. Even the Loop in Chicago.
All you ghouls and goblins gather round. Time for chills and thrills, so party down. No matter who you like to bite, you're gonna want Coors and Coors Light tonight.
Coors Light's fearless is there. Fun is everywhere.
Get ready for excitement when Coors is on the scene.
'Cause anything can happen.
On a Coors and Coors Light Halloween.
A 5-yard penalty will be assessed against the 49ers for that exuberant spin of the ball by Craig in the end zone. I haven't figured that one out yet. Wershing kicking from the 35. Line drives this one, trying to just punch it through the infield, so to speak. That's Drew Hill at the 3. Watch out for him. Drew Hill gets outside. Now he's cornered and dropped at the 10-yard line. Earl Cooper stayed with it. Got him running parallel with the line of scrimmage, and it was all over.
Turned out to be a very effective kick for Wershing that time, but still had problems with it.
Scoring drive, most of that, the 64-yard pass play. Boy, what a nice read and a great catch by Craig. And a great analysis job by Wayne Walker, my friend. 3 plays, 64.
You just don't see that many times this season where a defensive end is called on in pass coverage. They did it because they blitzed all the linebackers, and Youngblood had to drop off. Montana got it to the right guy.
Craig has sprinter speed, at least coming out of high school in Nebraska. He was a 9,600-yard man at that time. Doug Kemp has Ellard and Ron Brown. Terrific sprinter. Kemp underthrowing, but it's catchable. It is caught at 21 by Brown, who played defensive back, I think, for Arizona State before he became a receiver.
3 years at cornerback at Arizona State before they made a wideout out of him.
Raiders 12-0 over Denver. That game being played at the Coliseum.
I don't think Elway's playing for Denver in that one, Tom.
Got a bad arm right now. Miami 17-0 over Buffalo. Buffalo having its problems, and Miami thinking about Palo Alto. Misdirection, handoff to Dickerson. He gets a yard. Didn't fool anybody, and the 49er defense against the rush is pretty decent. Buns was there.
Good job by him. 57, Dan Buns. He took on the guard and just stuffed the whole thing.
A lot of people think that Walsh's team is all high draft choice, but actually they just sort of fit. They're good football players that play the system.
And that defense right there, they use all their people. They say that, you know, we don't have a first or second team here, particularly on defense. You see Bill Bain going off there. 49ers use all their players. They specialize and get everybody involved, and they all feel like they're a part of this team.
This NFL Most Valuable Player segment is brought to you by IBM. 1962. The Packers' Jim Taylor displays the form that would eventually earn him a spot in Pro Football's Hall of Fame. The hard-running fullback rushes for a career record 1,474 yards, scores 19 touchdowns, and is named the league's most valuable player.
It started in 1933 with our first electric. Then came typing that looked like printing. The revolutionary Selectric. And Selectrics that correct mistakes. 1984. IBM introduces the Selectric System 2000. The Wheelwriter typewriters and the QuietWriter typewriter. A new generation of typewriters from the company that makes the typewriters secretaries prefer most.
Tom Brookshire with Wayne Walker at Anaheim Stadium at San Francisco 12-0. That is not 4 field goals. That's a missed extra point. Bill Bain, the big tackle, who started at right tackle, has good technique. Looks like they're working on the knee, and he is on the sideline. Second down and 9, and Kemp is hit and fumbles the football. And I believe the 49ers have recovered at the 11-yard line. Tuiasosopo.
I think Dwayne Board, 76, made the original hit, and I think Tuiasosopo got on the ball. That's who has it. The nose tackle has it. But what a job by Dwayne Board. Coming from his right defensive end position. Unloaded.
He'd be working against Pankey. He wouldn't be working against Bollinger, who's in there for Bain, right?
Bain is out of there. I'm not sure. But watch Board come right of your screen. Here he comes. He took an inside move. And it was his second or third effort. It was against Big Herb Pankey. But Board on a second effort, come back to the inside, made the hit.
And this team takes away and giveth nothing. The 49ers are excellent about giveaway takeaways. Montana across the middle. Cooper to about the 6-yard line. And even in Anaheim, the calls for Coop.
Here it is right here now. Montana will take 4 yards on first down any time down in here, and he got it the safe way. It's just kind of a long handoff right there is all that pass is to Cooper coming over the middle. So it puts him now in the 2nd and 6 situation.
2:56 before halftime. 49ers seem to do this. They don't play so well offensively in the third quarter. They play so well in the rest of the time. Montana, touchdown, did he hold on to it? No, yes. Now the call is he did make the catch in the end zone. Freddie Solomon.
Waved it away once and then called it a touchdown the second time. Great leaping catch by Solomon.
Looked like Baryshnikov on the back line. I didn't believe he got the feet down.
And it was a bullet from Montana. Off play action. Good protection. Farnhorse has got Youngblood taken care of. Now watch Solomon's feet here. There's one down. And you couldn't really tell, but it looked like he got them both down.
A dance on the inline by Freddie Solomon. Touchdown, and Bergy knocks it through. And suddenly what was close, not so close. It's 19-0. And it's been a physical game and really very well played by both teams.
Better angle for you here. 1 foot down. And he scrapes the second one. That's just great body control by Freddie Solomon. It looked like he didn't have a shot to stay in bounds on that. Somehow defied gravity and made his coach a little bit happier man.
Folks will tell you I got something going all the time, and I got ways to get the dirty work done for me. This is it, the new Honda TRX 200. On my ranch, that full suspension and electric starting comes in real handy. In my oil fields, I can really count on that shaft drive. At the resort I'm building, that reverse gear gets you out of tight spots. I like the TRX 200 so much, I even got two for the office.
You know, if I'm playing a match on Wednesday, I take my Bic and shave down on this cheek. If it's a semifinal, I shave up. But if it's a month with an R, I take my Bic and go across. Except on Tuesday, of course, when I start on my chin. All this might give you the idea I'm superstitious. No way. It doesn't matter which Bic I use. Superstitious? Nah.
Superstitious or not, avoid all shavers with more than 3 letters.
Before there was a 60 Minutes, there was a Jackie Gleason, the best thing that ever happened to a television set. Sunday night, he's back.
Is Freddie Solomon back? He has his 4th catch for his 3rd TD of the year.
But look at the footwork right there. That's his right foot down and in. And then he just had to scrape his toe in as he was going out with the left leg, and he did it.
Must be the shoes. I can't figure out how he got them back in bounds.
I'll tell you, they might be lucky shoes for him. He'll probably never take them off now the rest of the season.
Feet don't fail me now. What a great catch by Solomon. Kickoff by Wergy. Drilled a line drive to Drew Hill, who will not stay in the end zone and runs it out. Hill out over the 20 to the 26. Good run back by the Rams.
And closer to breaking then, you might believe, too.
Derek Harmon down quickly for San Francisco, but not before a good return by Drew Hill. If you drop that ball around San Francisco, they somehow grind it up and put it on the board.
10 points worth.
Fumble field goal, fumble TD. Don't feel sorry for this man, though. This is a good ball club, and they are coming with a new young quarterback and one of the great running backs of all time. That San Francisco defense against the rush so far has been incredible. Dickerson has 26 yards on 7 carries before halftime. Dickerson on the draw. Being chased. Breaks 2 tackles to get to the 30. Let's go to New York now and Brent Musburger for an update.
Brookie, watch the lead back, Rob Carpenter, come around on the sweep ahead of Joe Morris for the Giants. They're already up by 2 touchdowns. Carpenter clears the way. Morris has scored for the 2nd time. They blow the extra point, but it's 20-0 Giants. Back to Brookie.
20-0 before halftime, and of course that could put the NFC East in a real deadlock. Not over with yet, nor is it over here. You're looking at young Kemp and a 19-0 deficit.
Try to remember. When you checked in, the guy said it's simple, nothing to it. Room 343 is up 2 flights, down 1, did that. Turn right by the ice machine, through the swinging doors, did that. By the Jefferson room, did that. This must be it. Great. Next time, Ramada, where they know how to take care of business.
Feel it, feel it, feel it. That Noxzema feeling. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Nothing else comes close.
It's here. Noxzema Shave Cream for extra sensitive skin. Feel that soothing blue lather protecting you from irritation. Feel the closeness. Feel the comfort.
Nothing else comes close.
Medicated Noxzema Shave Cream for extra sensitive skin.
Noxzema feeling. Nothing else comes close.
Back at the Anaheim Stadium. 2 minutes left before halftime. Remember, the 49ers have only scored 9 points, 3 field goals in the 3rd period the whole season. As we said earlier, some of that's because they get ahead in the 2nd quarter. Dickerson. Out in the flat. Kemp going downfield and finds an open receiver at the 49-yard line of San Francisco, and that's Ellard. A long throw and an accurate throw.
And he was able to get it in there, as you'll see on the isolation here, because he had Eric Dickerson out in the flat. Dan Buns, the linebacker on that side, couldn't get a real deep drop because he had to respect Dickerson. That's why Kemp could throw it in front here of Dwight Hicks.
Kemp now hurrying up the team. Of course, they trail 19-0. Kemp now moving away. He's going to run with it to the 45, the 40, and down. Sprawled at the 39 of San Francisco. Eric Wright made sure.
Yeah, he's pretty quick.
Now he uses the timeout. This young guy seems to have his head on. Did he look like a junior just coming out of the dormitory when we saw him? He's got a tough job. And the Rams trail 19-0. The 49ers have only given up 9 touchdowns passing so far this year, so it's not easy to play catch-up with them and beat their nickel situations. They're very good. Seifert has good defensive game plans, doesn't he?
Yes, and they think that their nickel defense is their best defense. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, and they're in it a lot.
Right now they've stayed in the 34, at least it looks like that, but you don't know who else is going to come. Farmer is in for the Rams, and Kemp fades on 1st and 10. Good throw outside the hill to get to the 30-yard line. Make it the 29-yard line. A big target. 235-pound David Hill.
The Niners did blitz a linebacker that time off the 3-4. It was Ricky Ellison from the inside, but the Rams picked it up with no problem at all.
The flag has been dropped around the blocking pattern.
There's Ellison, number 50, coming in on the blitz, you see, but it was picked up, and Kemp had plenty of time to step up.
Number 75 on the offense.
Irv Pankey having some problems with Dwayne Board. Everybody has had trouble with Board this year.
You see Dwayne Board, too. Brookie said, you know, he kind of feels that if the 49ers go all the way to the Super Bowl this year, he might retire. He's only 28 years old, I think, and in his 5th year, but he's had a couple knee injuries, and this might be time for me to quit then.
Tremendous player who is undersized really at 250 and does a tremendous job. Kemp now being rushed and overthrows a receiver at the 25. Mike Barber, the tight end, who was really socked by Ronnie Lott.
Big pressure here now on Kemp this time. See who it came from. Is that Big Hands Johnson, 95 right there? Or Michael Carter, I guess. Michael Carter with the big pressure, and watch the hit right here. Barber at tight end. 42 is Ronnie Lott. Yesterday at practice they were calling him Mad Dog. See why?
Well, Carter weighs 285, the big shot putter, right?
Second and 20.
Second down and 20, back on the 49. Kemp, yes, time this time. Good throw. Oh, Ellard at the 20-yard line now inside the San Francisco 20. They're calling a timeout. What a nice throw and catch. Ellard wide open.
Yeah, good thinking that time, too, by the Rams. You know, there's a lot of little things that involved in a game that go on down there that the coaches need help on the field. That time, Dennis Hara, number 60, the right guard, sprinted about 30 yards downfield to get that timeout called and save a few ticks off the clock. It might be important.
Next week on CBS Sports Saturday, 2 World Championship fights. Billy Costello puts his title on the line in front of his wild hometown crowd in Kingston, New York, against the former champion Leroy Haley. And Jaime Garza, who holds the most impressive record in boxing today, 40 wins, no losses, 38 KOs. He must be a wild man. Meets Juan Kid Meza. Also, of course, you'll get to see the 84 World Figure Skating Champions for the last time as amateurs. That's Torvel and Dean. And live performance by America's brightest new star, Tiffany Chin. That's all next week, 3:30 Eastern Time on CBS Sports Saturday. You're looking at young Kemp, getting some instructions. He's getting confident enough now to where he actually recommends things from Coach Robinson, doesn't he?
He does have a tremendous amount of confidence. He said, you know, I wasn't surprised by my performance at all when I came in for Ferragamo. He said it just all seemed natural to me.
Remember, we asked him if they had a long throwing game at Dartmouth. He said we didn't have a short throwing game at Dartmouth.
His favorite receiver there was David Shule, the son of Don Shule.
Ironical, and so much fun to see a young man being successful. First and 10 on the 19. Kemp's back. He's got time. Going for the touchdown and out of the end zone. No good. A great jumping grab by Ellard. Pretty well covered by Hicks.
Yeah, John Robinson went after some wide receivers the past couple of years to improve the speed on his team. And Ellard, who was their draft choice a year ago, number 2 draft choice a year ago, was a world-class triple jumper, Fresno State. You saw him get up for that one.
Jumped out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Actually, the teams that held Dickerson down pulled up their safety men. If you have speed like this, you can't use your safety men as linebackers. Second down, 10. Kemp. He's got time. And an open receiver at the 10. He's still moving. To the 5. Inside the 5 to the 4 is Ron Brown. What a throw by Kemp. And I'll tell you, Brown is a good football player. He didn't quit after the catch.
Robinson was yelling out on the field because the Rams had a player down. I think it's Bill Bain again, who was coming off the field for the second time, and Robinson wanted a timeout call because of injury. So he was trying to get the officials' attention that Bain was down out there.
What a job Bain has done, though. He had trials with Denver, Green Bay, the Giants, and he's come here and moved from left tackle to right tackle. And, you know, if you just try to run over him, he'll bury you. He's a monster.
Well, he's right around 300 pounds. Original draft choice of the Packers. He was their number 2 draft choice in '75. Played guard for them. Was a backup guy here. The guys on the team love him. I mean, he's got such a good attitude about everybody. You know, he was in a battle for the starting spot with Irv Pankey, and he said, you know, in a way, I kind of hope Irv beats me out because it would be good for his spirits.
I love guys like that, though. He looks like the giant tackling dummies they used to have when I was playing, but he is a good player. 57 seconds left. You can see the insert, the clock. And what Robinson was screaming about were probably the few seconds that ticked off while his player was down and hurt.
Well, he's got a first down now, just inside the 5.
Still got a couple of timeouts at least. Burned one earlier. I don't think he had to use one at this point after the completion.
I don't know if they have any left or not. And, you know, the board here says they have 0 timeouts left.
Robinson working with his bench. He brought in 7 new assistants when he took over when Ray Malavasi left the Rams front office.
Place on the field where the 49ers have been tough all season long. Teams have been able to get inside the 10 and 5 on them. Not many get in the end zone on them.
First and goal from the 5. Pitt calls for quiet. The Rams have no timeouts left. Second down and goal from the 4. Pitt going back to work, same area. Overthrowing. Allard again. Well covered by Hicks.
This is all over him. And that's not an easy task.
A 19-0 game. You don't want to settle for 3 when you've had this successful a drive with a young quarterback getting down there.
Well, that's true, you know, and if the Rams have something in here like a quarterback rollout on option, this will probably be the time. And you know what? They could even pull a quarterback draw here because Kemp is a good runner. It would be a good play for him here at the time because the 49ers are spread out.
It's decision time. Third and goal from the 4. Time. Sidearm catch and drop. Let's see what they do with this. They're going to... Dickerson looked like he made the reception. They're going to give him a catch. No, they're not going to give him a catch. If it was fumbled into the end zone and recovered by the 49ers, it would come out to the 20.
Could be a touchback. Oh, it's a... Now see if this ball would have gone out of bounds before it got to the end zone. The Rams would be able to keep it. But watch the ball. Dickerson kind of hits it with his thigh there as he's losing it, and it goes into the end zone and then out of the end zone. Then it reverts to the 49ers. So it was a double tough break that time, really, for the Rams.
You can see the seconds ticking off in this first half. That's the 3rd turnover for Robinson's Rams. And as you know, the 49ers seem to gobble them up. They're waiting for you to do something like that. And what a drive that the Rams just had spoiled. It's all part of his work. Just
got that headset off. That means he's not calling another play this half.
He wants to go in the dressing room. Montana touches it down. The Rams try to steal the ball on the last play. Gary Green quickly apprehended, however. Interesting game, different plays. Wow. Don't go away. We got a second half that'll knock your socks off. It's 19-0 San Francisco.
Do you have anything in aviation?
The Army's most technical training
Are there any openings in communications?
is also the Army's most popular training.
I'd really like computers.
So it pays to have a reservation.
Electronics.
If you qualify, you can get a guaranteed reservation for the training you want up to 12 months in advance, even if you're still in high school.
We'll see you after graduation.
This is great.
Thank you. Congratulations.
The EPA figures say you can get 49 miles out of a gallon of gas. If you aren't getting this kind of mileage from your gasoline, maybe you should change your brand of car. We recommend you try the car made for high gas mileage, the Honda Civic CRX HF. The right car for your gasoline. Honda.
One reason why Duracell batteries last so long is because we never stop improving them. In fact, today's Duracell batteries will last up to 20% longer than the ones we made just 3 years ago. And we'll keep on improving them. Because on that score, we have a one-track mind. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
Next Saturday, college football. See Wisconsin try to derail Iowa's Rose Bowl Express.
3 years ago. And we'll keep on improving them. Because on that score, we have a one-track mind. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
Next Saturday, college football. See Wisconsin try to derail Iowa's Rose Bowl Express or USC against Stanford. And on CBS Sports Saturday, live championship boxing. Undefeated Billy Costello will put his title on the line in front of a hometown crowd against former champion Leroy Haley. And unbeaten knockout artist Jaime Garza will defend his WBC Super Bantamweight crown. Plus, special performances by world figure skating champions and America's new skating queen, Tiffany Chen. All next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Welcome back to New York. I'm Brent Musburger with Irv Cross. Irv, I shook my head when the Greeks said at the beginning of the season the Bears were going to the Super Bowl. Now I'm not so sure. Take a look at these standings right now in the NFC Central. Now, if the Bears just go 3-4 the rest of the way, Tampa Bay would have to go 7-0. Detroit would have to go 6-1 to beat the Bears. I think it's obvious they're going to win the NFC Central. Let's show you how it happened today in Soldier Field in Chicago. Jim McMahon, Walter Payton, he had 1,000 yards again. It was 16-7. It was easy over the Vikings. Now watch here, Matsui. They were looking for Payton, and Sui took it in. And they went up even after they missed the extra point. And what a defensive effort by Chicago. 11 sacks. They were all over Archie Manning. That ties the Bear record. Comes within one of an NFL record, 16-7 Chicago, and that's the final in that one. Now, Green Bay and Detroit. Detroit loses another game. Lynn Dickey today threw 4 touchdown passes in the game, and Irv, here's one of them.
Paul Kaufman had a big day. Threw 2 touchdown passes to Kaufman. Here's touchdown pass number 1. Big target. Great hands.
Now, watch Tom Flynn here. This is his 4th interception for the Packers. That ties the National Football League record, and, of course, more importantly for Forrest Gregg and the Packers, they break that horrendous 7-game losing streak. Kansas City over Tampa Bay. The Bucs had an opportunity to pull this one out of the closing seconds. Steve DeBerg slipped and fell down. They were out of timeouts. They could not get their act together on 4th down, and the Chiefs hold them off 24-20. There were 100 passes attempted in that game. That total by both teams is a new National Football League record. AFC East standings. No contest is who's going to win it. Miami in at 8-0, and they've been dominating Buffalo so far this afternoon. 2 more touchdowns there by Dan Marino. And how about the New England Patriots? They came, of course, with a new coach, Ron Meyer, ousted earlier in the week. Raymond Berry was on the sidelines against the New York Jets. This was a great comeback, Irv.
No doubt about it. It looked like in the first half the Jets had the game well under control. Freeman of McNeil, breaking off his left tackle, goes 53 yards for a score, and it looked like it was going to be a fairly easy day for the Jets.
But then this play sparked the comeback. It was 23 at the half. Craig James, formerly of SMU, then the United States Football League, his first NFL touchdown, and the Patriots were suddenly back in it. Now watch Tony Eason here drop back and step up and go over the middle to Stephen Starring. And that was the touchdown that put him away 5 yards on the score. What a comeback by the Patriots in that one now, and they are tied with the Jets at 6-3. The Dallas Cowboys, they welcome back Danny White as their starting quarterback, and they come away with a rather routine 22-3 victory over the Indianapolis Colts and Frank Kush. For the Cowboys now in that NFC East, their record is 6-3, and the Colts, well, they sagged to 3-6. AFC Central. We finally got a team over 500. The Pittsburgh Steelers did it with a win today over the Atlanta Falcons, and the Cincinnati Bengals, of course, are only 2 back with a record of 3-6. Hard to believe that that division has gone down as far as it has that quickly. For the Steelers, of course, the big play was a fumble recovery in that game. Wayne Woodruff scooping it up early. You'll see it right here. Comes on the short bounce, and he takes off 67 yards for the touchdown, and the Steelers dominate. That is the 5th return of a touchdown by that Steeler defense this season. And Mark Malone taking over for David Woodley. He threw 3 touchdown passes in the game. Cincinnati over Houston, 31-13. They dominated that game all the way. New Orleans and Cleveland. This game featured the best ending of the day. Another new head coach, Marty Schottenheimer, taking over for the ousted Sam Retigliano. Watch now as Bum Phillips and the Saints and Richard Todd go ahead. It is Todd to Hokie Guyjon. And Phillips thought things were going his way. But Paul McDonald and the Browns generated a little more offense than they have this year. And they went to their big man, Ozzie Newsome.
Only the best tight end in football, Brent. There's touchdown pass to Newsome, number 1.
And he wasn't finished. Watch this one now, as again, it'll be McDonald, Newsome, and then 6 seconds to go. Morton Anderson with a chance to win it.
Yes! He made it!
Terry Bradshaw sounded as happy as Bum Phillips for that. The NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Tonight, who's framing Jessica for murder? John Aston, Melissa Sue Anderson, Samantha Egger. Find out on Murder, She Wrote. And on The Jeffersons, flies Louise in a massage parlor.
I really don't do massages. That's okay. I don't really want one.
Then on Alice, Halloween brings out the superhero in Mel.
Who's the sissy boy in the tights?
And on Trapper John, is Gonzo really jinxed by a Chinese prophecy?
Your jinx is beginning to rub off on me.
It all happens tonight.
This is CBS.
Tonight, Arnie and I are going out in style in a brand new 1984 Continental Mark 7 from Hertz. For a limited time, Hertz is renting it or any Lincoln for only $44.90 a day.
Hey, OJ, our tuxedos just cost me $100.
But Arnie, look at this Mark 7 I got us.
How much did you pay for this, OJ?
Arnie, has anyone ever told you look great in a tuxedo?
The Continental Mark 7 from Hertz, only $44.90 a day at participating U.S. airport locations.
Burger King presents building a delicious new breakfast sandwich, the Croissandwich. Start with a light, flaky croissant.
This, to me, is much superior to an English muffin. It's nice and moist.
Add a fresh grade A egg.
It would make an excellent breakfast.
Melted cheese.
I like the bacon.
Crispy bacon. Country sausage or ham.
The ham is tender and very juicy.
And there you have it, the Croissandwich.
Aren't you hungry for Burger King now?
It's delicious.
This is the Peugeot wagon. A station wagon that is bigger than the best-selling imported or American wagons. So big, in fact, that Motor Trend called it cavernous. The Peugeot 505S, perhaps the most comfortable wagon in the world today.
Ghost Encounters, Sunday at 6.
Come in,
NFC East, when they began the day, 3 teams, but it appears as though the Washington Redskins are going to fall out of it. There you see the Dallas Cowboys and the St. Louis Cardinals. They're rolling along at 6-3, and St. Louis today beat the Philadelphia Eagles for their 4th straight victory. 34-14 was the final in that game. Now the Washington Redskins are under fire from the New York Giants. It's 23-3 late in the second quarter of that game, and what a job. Watch Joe Theismann drop back, and Lawrence Taylor really got him good here.
Well, you had the key here, though. Taylor came over the center. Remember, Bostic's out with an injury. They double-teamed the center. Lawrence Taylor came through free.
Irv, take a look at the pressure on Phil Simms, and he gets this off.
Really a great throw, great concentration. He was hit just as he threw the ball. Ernest Gray went in for the touchdown.
Then Joe Morris picked up a couple of touchdowns for him. The Giants don't have a running game, at least they didn't until this afternoon, and now it's Morris twice, and they have been all over the Washington Redskins. And, of course, they now lead them by that mark late in the second quarter there. Dan Marino, I said 2 touchdowns. Folks, it's 3. That's 27 for the season. We're 1 game past the halfway mark. The NFL record is 36. He's going to shatter it down there. How about Denver and the Raiders? That's a big one. Revenge match. 12-6 now. The Broncos are slowly coming back. The Raiders were up 12-0 in that game. Now the one you're watching. San Francisco dominating early. 19-0 over the Rams at the half. Want to take a look at some of the action here. Here's the play, of course, of the first half. It was simply Joe Montana on the swing pass to Roger Craig. Now he gets down the sideline all the way for a 64-yard touchdown. And, of course, Harris was injured when he made the tackle. Little showboating, 5-yard penalty. I didn't think it was very blatant. Then this touchdown pass later. And, Irv, let's take a look at it in slow motion. Is it a score?
It's really a questionable call. Now, keep in mind, you have to have possession of the ball. That means you have to catch it and have both feet in bounds. 1 foot. I don't know if that second was in there or not. It's hard to tell, Brent. I would question it.
It really is, and it looks as though the first foot might have slipped out of bounds before the second one came down, which would mean incompletion. Let's go back out now to the field, Anaheim. Here's Tom Brookshire along with Wayne Walker. Brookie?
All right, Brett. Thank you very much. I knew that Irv Cross wouldn't think that was a touchdown. Old defensive backs die hard, don't we?
I think that was a pretty good call. I really do. I think that Solomon did a great job, and I thought he got them both in.
Well, you don't have to get both of them down at the same time. That's probably where there might be some misunderstanding.
Now, the first one it hits right here on this touchdown, that's his right foot, okay?
Right.
All right, so that's in for sure. You can forget about that right foot now and watch and look for the left one.
That's it.
And it's in.
Got those new shoes. He said he was going to make a
If he'd have been wearing white shoes like the normal 49ers do, it might have been harder to see because he was in that chalk area.
Incredibly tough play just before the half when Eric Dickerson, the great running back, took the pass and lost the ball into the end zone and out. And if they'd recovered it, if it had gone out of bounds, it would have been on the 1-foot line with one more play. But when it goes through the end zone and out, it becomes the touchback.
It was tough, but you got to credit a hustling 49er defense. Look at Ricky Ellison, number 50, come in here now. And he's the one that really punches this ball out and strips Dickerson. So you can say it was a piece of bad luck for the Rams and it worked out against them. But if it hadn't been for a guy like Ellison hustling and playing just tough football, it would have worked out fine for the Rams.
A great drive by young Kemp, and Ellard made a couple of good catches. We would like to say that Eric Dickerson has 30 yards on 8 carries, far below a great runner that came in with 911 yards already in 8 games. So the San Francisco defense against the run has been extremely well.
That's been the key. That's been the key. You know, just the 30 yards for Dickerson. And now the Rams are in a situation as you take a peek at some of the stats and look at that time of possession.
Wow.
The Rams are in a position where, you know, they don't have to panic, and they're down 19 points. It's going to take 3 scores for them to get back in the ball game. I expect to have him come out and start giving the ball to Dickerson a little bit more because he looks like he's okay health-wise.
And the big stat there, you can go down to the next to the bottom category, 3 turnovers by the Rams. And boy, I'll tell you, San Francisco just inhales those and puts them to work for him. Montana, we thought was having an average day, but in the first half he had 192 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 completions of 23.
Like they say about him, he very quietly slits your throat.
That's right, but the third quarter, that's the one time that Bill Walsh says his team has a little trouble scoring. We'll see today. They lead 19-0. Stick around. We may have a real barn burner.
Today, the most exciting new ideas in the hotel business come from Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
It works much better.
It tastes much better.
Better and better.
Really better.
Holodex 2, the industry's first bimodal reservation system, ensures your room is waiting. Innovations like this make Holiday Inn hotels #1.
We're #1, your worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
All you ghouls and goblins gather round. Time for chills and thrills, so party down. No matter who you like to bite, you're gonna want Coors and Coors Light tonight.
Coors Light's beer whoop is there. Fun is everywhere.
Get ready for excitement when Coors is on the scene.
'Cause anything can happen.
On a Coors and Coors Light Halloween.
Bill Evans can't breathe.
My nose is so stuffed, air can't get through.
Prove it. Would you try Dristan long-lasting nasal spray?
I'll try anything.
It can give you relief in seconds that lasts all day. Can you breathe now?
Sponsored by Prestone 2 Antifreeze. America goes with Prestone. Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products.
Tom Brookshire with Wayne Walker at Anaheim Stadium. You can see Kemp and the Rams warming up on the sideline nearest us here at this press box, very high above the stadium. Sold out crowd. Wanted that touchdown just before the half. But on the other side, a fellow named Joe Montana on the other side of the field in the sunlight, so to speak. He's pretty popular in the San Francisco Bay Area, isn't he, Joe?
Boy, sure is. I tell you, he is a special player. I don't think there's any question that anyone that's seen him play, you know, at any level knows that he just gets the job done.
Can he walk around though without having too many people bother him? Does he wear capes and things and disguises or anything like that?
Pretty visible guy, I would say.
Okay. 19-0 lead. There's the man we're speaking of, Joe Montana, with a little small flak jacket on. Where's his kickoff? That's Redden at the goal line. Redden is 230 pounds and comes straight up and just gets to the 20. Good coverage by San Francisco. Comparison of the two people we just saw.
Not too bad a day on the other side of the field for Kemp either. 10 of 18, you see that, so.
He looks like a good rollout dash type quarterback that could put it away and run in from the 4-yard line sometimes.
The Rams have just had a couple of things kind of self-destruct on them, blow up in their faces. That they took a gamble on the one defense and blitzed, and Montana got it to Roger Craig. And then, of course, that fumble down that was a touchback that went in the end zone. Take those two away, and look where you'd be.
Be close. This is the quarter that San Francisco has not scored a touchdown in all year. Kemp's first play of misdirection to Eric Dickerson. hit hard as he just crosses the 21. I believe Ricky Ellison got there very early. Jack Reynolds helped out too.
Tom, in a situation like this, a situation the Rams were in 19 points behind, in order really for them to come back and win this ball game, have any chance of winning it, they're going to have to get one long score, one quick score. You know, whether it's off a special team or whether it's off a defensive play, an interception, or a fumble recovery, or a long run here or a long touchdown. They've got to get one score, and they've got to get it quick.
Kemp is looking for the signal from the sidelines. Lawrence Pillars, the defensive end for San Francisco, is shaken up, being attended to. It is a bright sunlight Southern California day. No humidity, almost nil. Blimps are going by the stadium, and it's sold out.
Pillars down. He got the start today. He's been what you'd call a regular for the 49ers as you look at Bill Walsh since he came over from the New York Jets in 1980 as a free agent.
NFL action next Sunday on CBS. All starts, of course, with the NFL Today with Brent and Irv and Phyllis and Jimmy back on the East Coast. That's 12:30 Eastern time. Then you'll see the Giants face the Cowboys, the Eagles against the Lions, Tampa Bay on Minnesota against Green Bay meeting New Orleans. Those of you in Southern California and most of the Midwest will see these same LA Rams meet the high-scoring St. Louis Cardinals at 3:30 Eastern time, 12:30 Pacific time. That's right here on CBS, the NFL action on Sunday. I like that two-way talk with the studio people back there. That's fun with Brent and Irv live like that, isn't it?
I like it. We're going to do point and counterpoint next week with it.
All part of the television business. 2nd down and 9 on the 21. Dickerson still being held in check by the San Francisco defense. Goodman faked the start of motion, then went back and set up. Kemp dumping it off to Eric Dickerson. Makes one, gets to the 32-yard line for a first down. Ricky Ellison caught up with him there, but a pretty little finesse play they just put in.
I think Kemp went to an audible this time, and that's why Goodman caught it just as he started his motion and settled back. He wanted to go to something quick right over here on the right side. It wasn't there. He looked around and he had a safety valve, and it was Eric Dickerson, and that's, you know, another one of those long handoffs, and Dickerson gets 10 yards from it.
Goodman is out. Barber and Dave Hill, 2 tight ends, are in. Redden is in, as you see Dickerson on the sidelines from a little town, Sealy, Texas, 4,400 people. They must wonder how great a player they had seen all through high school days down there. Here's Redden on a misdirection, being faked to, and Kemp's going for a bundle. Intercepted with a diving catch at the 12-yard line is Eric Wright, and Drew Hill had a couple of yards on him.
Now the ball was underthrown some. I don't know. And Kemp, they say, has one of the strongest arms that you'll see on a young guy. He couldn't get it that far downfield, and Eric Wright played it perfectly. He was in pretty good shape and just played the ball as it was in the air. Good play action fake right there, but it didn't fool Eric Wright much.
Ball's thrown 60 yards in the air, and they're still underthrown.
Look at that.
That's the deep pattern that Robinson said with the speed they wouldn't be able to gang up against Dickerson on the run.
Kemp's first interception as a starter. He's thrown over 100 passes without an interception.
Toss back to Wendell Tyler, who has also been rather quiet, out to about the 13.5. Andrews nailing the running back there.
Now, you know that stat, as you look at Eric Wright, who got the interception, that stat you talk about, the 49ers not scoring very much in the third period. One of the reasons, right, as we mentioned, they've been ahead a lot at halftime, and they come out, and Bill Walsh purposely gets kind of conservative and goes to the run and game to use the clock up.
Works right. They keep winning. Eric Wright's 2nd interception of the year, a diving job. And Kemp told us Friday that he's got 3 receivers that will only lose to Brown by a step in 40 yards. That's how fast they are. 2nd down and 7. Montana to the outside. Tyler buried at the 14-yard line by Andrews and taken back to the 9.
Well, this is just good outside linebacking right here, because the 49ers really like to run a good portion of their offense against the outside linebackers and bring the backs out and option on them. And you have to cover him both ways, but number 52, George Andrews, in good shape that time on Tyler.
Walker, that looked like you in a Detroit uniform. He caught him just as Wendell was turning around, but no chance to avoid competition, so to speak.
Best time to do him. Get him early.
3rd down and 7 on the 15. Good Los Angeles defense this series. Montana, quick draw play. And Wendell Tyler's nailed short of the 15-yard line. He told us this play might not go against the Rams because they're very quick.
Yes, he did. He sure did. He said, we've run that draw pretty good the last 2 or 3 weeks, but he says, I'm not sure to work against the Rams because of the way they react, as quick as they are. Carl Eckert, 55.
Good defensive series. The Rams want to get back in this third period. They just missed a touchdown before halftime. Here's Rudiger's punt. It's a low kick and sort of pulled off to the left. It may be effective. Bounces at the 44-yard line of Los Angeles. Look out. Kemp and company are coming back on the field. The crowd feels it. We hope you do. 19-0 San Francisco.
This is deep gumbo mud in a 300-foot-long track. The famous Ford Bigfoot can handle it. But can a standard 4x4 pickup make it through? These Ford 4x4s have great traction with independent front suspension and real power, like Ranger's powerful V6 or Ford's big pickup with powerful V8s or diesels. You made it through.
Yeah, my Ford truck and me.
The best-built American trucks are built Ford tough.
When a businessman is waking up in, say, Los Angeles, his main office in New York is already well into its day. And very often there's information the main office would like men such as this to have the moment they come in. Well, now, through a modern computer innovation called telemail, they can send them that information and have them punch it right up the minute they arrive.
Gee.
No, GTE.
They've already done the hard part. All we have to do is vote.
One common opponent these two clubs have had, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers beat both of them. Beat the 49ers, and they've beaten the Rams. It's an interesting division. 1st and 10. Kemp throws back to Dickerson, running left. The toss. Ronnie Lott hits him at the 40-yard line, and there are not many defensive backs that can take Dickerson on like that.
That's their bread and butter play to both sides. That toss, they've got to get Dickerson going wide, and then he breaks a lot of them by cutting back in his slashing style.
23-6. What a tremendous thing for Parcells and company if the Giants can bounce back into that Eastern race. Not bad for television numbers either. They love those Giants on the East Coast, but out here it's sun and fun, and this is the man. He was the MVP as a rookie, according to Sports Illustrated last year. And he's right on schedule again. The toss this time, now the reverse. The handoff to Ellard. Ellard cuts back. Makes yardage to the 34-yard line of San Francisco.
Okay, Ellard would have stayed outside there on that reverse. He's going to get a bundle more. As it was set up for him, he had to juke one man and get to the outside. Here he is, ISO. To run the toss here. Now he cuts it back and cuts inside. If he stays back outside, he only had to get around Hacksaw Reynolds, and then he had plenty of room.
The Rams are 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and 1. If you don't see that big back take it, I would be surprised, but maybe the quarterback will keep it. Oh, it's a play action pass by Kemp. Outside for Hill. He's got the 1st down and probably a cracked rib. Ronnie Lott nailed the tight end.
They had double tight end that time, and they wanted 6 points. They wanted to go deep to Mike Barber, but he was covered downfield by Dwight Hicks, and so Kemp went to the secondary receiver, still picked up the 1st down.
A few SC fans booed Ronnie Lott for the first time on that pass. What a great player he is. For the first time, he is free of injury this year. He had ankles and a little twitch of the knee and some other things, but he is healthy and he's hitting like a ton. 1st and 10 on the 33. The Rams are moving. They've had a little momentum from that the closing seconds of the 1st half. The fake to Dickerson. Kemp going for it all again. Oh, just juggled.
Well, you saw the world-class speed
of Ron Brown.
Yes, sir. When that ball was in the air, you know, he said that I run along with him until the ball's in the air. And then when the ball's in the air, I put it on. He did. Play action right here. Kemp wants him all the way. Now watch the spurt here. He just runs away and almost makes the catch. You know, he made a catch Monday night that he made a good adjustment to. Like, you know, that ball that's thrown straight over your head like that one is the toughest kind to catch. He made a great adjustment in the game the other night. Watch him here, and he almost made another one here. Very difficult to come up with that kind of catch.
A great throw by the young quarterback, Kemp. Now it's 2nd down and 10. Now they go back to the work. Dickerson looking for a hole, running over people inside the 30, but too many 49ers show up. Fawnhorse and Hicks and others. You don't tackle him solo very often.
No, John Robinson says that probably the best thing that Eric Dickerson does is he finishes off a run. You know, he's the one delivering the blow. He delivers the blow at the end of every run. 72 is Kent Hill, the guard. They want to go outside. It's not there. The 49ers got to play good. Milton McCall's out there. Stuckey's out there. Hicks is up. Now you look like it's going to have a 2 or 3 yard loss right here. And watch the moves of this guy. Now watch when they converge on him here. See, he's the one that puts his head down. He's the one that's delivering and going forward. That's what they mean by finishing off the run.
Hang on and call for help. Dickerson with 38 yards on 11 carries. 3rd down and 7. Kemp being sacked. He's in the grass back at the 38-yard line.
Strong kid there. That's the shot putter, Brookie.
Michael Carter. He's coming on fast, and he's just learning what the game's all about.
He's about 300 pounds. He was the silver medalist in the recent Olympics in the shot put. He was a football player at SMU. And, you know, the 49ers, he came to camp right after the Olympics, and the 49ers knew it'd be a while before he got in football condition and football shape, and they've been working him in slowly but surely. He's going to be a big one for him in the future.
Misko's punt is on the way. Hits at the 8-yard line, down by the Rams at the 3-yard line. Good coverage and a fine kick by John Misko. Boy, the Rams have come out in the second half, and they've retaped. It's 19-0.
McDonald's presents the 15 hardest words to say.
2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on it, sesame. Beef and beef, all 15 words. Never get hurt, you start to say it.
Pickles, onions on a sesame seed.
Then you got to take a bite of one. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed.
Bun, bun, bun.
When your big gun is being muffled somewhat, you go to your defense. The Ram defense has been on the field a lot, but if they can cause a turnover, they can get their offensive team back in position. Montana rolling in the end zone. Throwing for Solomon, who catches it somehow at the 40-yard line, gets up, and is squashed at the 42-yard line by Leroy Irvin.
Watch what Montana does here now. He gets a good block from Bill Ring that seals out. That's a planned dash. Now he's not scrambling. That he drops back and then runs out, and that's called a dash. And he kind of throws it on the move and put it in there on a wire to Solomon.
Irvin wasn't in bad shape if he'd looked for the ball, but he was trying to get Solomon under control, huh? Freddie Solomon, he's gimpy and he's back. Touchdown and catches like that. 1st and 10. Flags are down early on this. The play won't go. It must be an illegal formation.
30-second clock, maybe.
False start. Number 71 on the offense. After the penalty, it'll be a 1st down once again.
Keith Fawnhorse trying to get out and early make contact with Youngblood.
He said, my wife doesn't have to look at the schedule. She knows when we're playing the Rams, and I got to play against Youngblood because I'm cranky all week long.
Like a big bear around the house.
Yeah.
Huh?
He said, you know, all the games I've had against Youngblood, there have been 20 some of them. He said, you know, I've had good people like Gastineau and where I really felt I've dominated them. He said, I've never been able to come out of a Ram game thing and saying that I've dominated Youngblood.
It's a compliment from the top. 1st and 15 from the 37. A reverse to Wendell Tyler. Ram defense was waiting this time at the 42-yard line. A little bit of extracurricular action there with Wendell and Carl Eckert.
They're trying to get that punch that football loose. Eckert is 55, the inside linebacker that time. He was lined up in the middle, and they pulled the guard. He went right with the guard and was in good shape on that play.
Wendell Tyler, only 2 lost fumbles at halfway this season, and none today. He is having a fantastic year, isn't he, as a rusher, too?
Yeah, he said he wanted to be more physical this year, much like we talked about Dickerson finishing off runs, and Wendell has.
Wendell Tyler, a pain from the Rams by San Francisco. What a trade. The slant pattern, Solomon has it. For the Los Angeles 40, Gary Green making the tackle. Smart receiver there.
You know, number 88 just kind of fools you when you look at him. I know, Brookie, you've mentioned this, but you know, from the waist down, he kind of looks like a high school guard. He's kind of got chunky legs and short legs, and you just don't think he's going to be that fast. And he's just so quick.
5:38 left in this third period, a period that the Rams dominated for a few minutes. Here come the 49ers, right with the ball, driving inside the 40 to the 38 goes Wendell Tyler. I think part of the problem trying to defend San Francisco is they have so many ways of offsetting whatever you do to try to take it away.
And it's impossible to get a pattern on them because they have no tendencies. You just can't say, you know, in third down situation they favor this, or second down they favor this, because the man right there comes out and every game he's got a list of 25 plays, and they're different every week, and he goes right down the list. It just doesn't let, you know, down in yards those situations dictate. He has his offense do the dictating.
Loses Russ Francis, and he said Russ Francis is the best blocking tight end or one of the patterns in football, but they compensate. Here's Solomon on the reverse. He's got the outside. Solomon trying to get to the 30-yard line, tackled by Leroy Irvin. Good recovery by the secondary because the linebackers had gone south on him.
There it is right here, Solomon on the reverse. The second one we've seen today, the handoff to Tyler, and then he'll hand it to Solomon coming around. And the only guy in the field with the dark shoes tries to get outside, but he can't. Pretty good job over there by Leroy Irvin, number 47.
They're just keying shoes now. They just key the black shoes and try to get Solomon. A good block attempt by quarterback Joe Montana. First and 10, right on the 30. Quick drop. Montana going for it. Inside the 5 goes Ronaldo Nehemiah.
Well, that's a good throw. Good throw and good catch. And I'll tell you what, you mentioned it earlier about the sun, and Nehemiah was looking right back into it. So the sun's getting a little bit low, and he had to look right back in it.
26-yarder.
Here's that timing thing we talked about, the 5-step drop. It's right on time. He plants the foot and zings it right in there on the money. Nehemiah working against the safety, or rather the cornerback, Gary Green, single coverage.
And you know, they've got good position to coverage. They're not being beaten by a lot. They're just being beaten by about a foot. First and goal from the 4. 49ers haven't scored a touchdown in the third quarter this season. They still haven't. Tyler's out at about the 5.5-yard line.
Well, the linebackers out there making the play were Owens and Collins, but it was Nolan Cromwell, number 21, the safety, who really messed that up. He got good penetration and was the first man that forced Tyler to kind of belly and bounce back.
There's Nolan Cromwell. As soon as Robinson took over, he switched him to the other safety position, made him the free safety man, right?
And then sure, when Johnny Johnson got hurt, they had to switch him back.
Seem to have picked up everybody. They're in better positions. I think they are more relaxed. Right now they're in a lot of pressure. Craig. That's the first San Francisco touchdown in the third period all year.
Now, Brookie, that was almost the same play they ran to the other side that Cromwell did a good job on. That time Cromwell basically got too much penetration. He came in too deep. You'll see number 21 show up over here on the right-hand side of your screen. That's 68 Ayers blocking. Now watch him. He gets a little bit too deep, and the lead back right there can kick him out. Wendell Tyler got the block because Cromwell actually had too much penetration and opened up the hole for Roger Craig.
Boy, good running, too. He dipped in behind one block and took the other. His second rushing touchdown of 84. Wersching's extra point attempt. Montana's got it down. It is. Boy, what looked like a Ram third period has quieted the crowd. San Francisco's thinking Palo Alto.
You may get copies made outside your office because you think you can't afford a copier. Well, the truth is you can't afford not to own one. Because now there's the surprisingly inexpensive Sharp Z60 mini copier. It's simple to maintain, a cinch to operate, and delivers plain paper copies in a variety of colors. So get the inexpensive Sharp Z60. You don't know what you've been missing. The Sharp Z60, from sharp minds come sharp products.
Some of the roughest roads aren't in the mountains. They're in big cities, perhaps even your city. So we asked Brad McCabe to drive this Ford Ranger over some of the meanest streets this city can dish out. But this stock Ranger is built tough, with twin I-beam front suspension to handle those cavernous potholes, bone-jarring bumps, and repair sections. And there's a new fuel-injected 4-cylinder engine, or V6 power, unbeaten by any small V6 pickup. Nice driving, Brad.
We work well together. My Ford Ranger and me.
The best-built American trucks have built Ford Tough.
Otis Skip killed himself because he thought that we didn't care.
1 out of 10 American teenagers attempt suicide, even in the best of families. Don't miss Silence of the Heart, Tuesday.
Don't forget, next Sunday on CBS, it all starts with the NFL Today, with everybody back in the New York studio at 12:30 Eastern Time. You'll see the Giants face the Cowboys, the Eagles meet the Lions, or Tampa Bay taking on Minnesota, or Green Bay meeting New Orleans. Those of you in Southern California and most of the Midwest will see the Los Angeles Rams and the St. Louis Cardinals, 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific. NFL action here on CBS. 8 plays, 95 yards with that drive after a good Ram punt. And I'm telling you, it is hard to find ways to beat the San Francisco team. They all play well. A short kick by Wergy. Redden at the 10. Redden finds a hole, and a flag is down, but he gets to about the 27-yard line. Ferrari down to cinch him up there. There is the flag.
While they're talking about the flag and figuring out what it is down there, let me tell you something about Montana. Completed his last 9 in a row for 171 yards.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Illegal block on the kick return team, number 50. Be a first down.
26-0. And it's been a close game. I know you won't believe that. We're not trying to hype you. It's just so many ways that this team can shut you down. They play such intelligent football. Talking about San Francisco, here's young Kemp. He went 119 passes before he threw that first interception.
It's pretty unique for a young quarterback to do that.
Yeah. A young team came in 5-3, 4-1 under this young man. Kemp back to throw. Just tries to get it to Goodman at the 20. Closely covered by Carlton Williamson. Remember, a year ago, he had 9 solos on Dickerson, didn't he?
Coming in his first game back off a broken leg. He's very physical and is a great tackler, perhaps the best back there, although Ronnie Lott will give you some argument about that. But watch him cover right here, too. Is Gooman the H-back or the U-back here, and Carlton Williamson a diving save.
Classy move by number 27, Carlton Williamson. 2nd down and 10. Gooman was open for just a moment. Dickerson's the remaining back. Kemp throwing for Ellard at the 30-yard line. Hicks tackling. Good reception. Hey, there's a tough little football player.
It was. That was a good throw by Kemp. He had a linebacker out there in front of Ellard, and it was Milt McCall, who was about 6'5", a Ted Hendricks, almost look-alike, and he got it over the top of him some way. It's a gun. Michael Carter was jumping up. See McCall right there, leap up. Strong arm Kemp got it in there.
Ellard, of course, one of the great return men and also one of the fine little football players, and they have speed on the outside. Drew Hill, Brown, and Ellard. Farmer's now in the game. Ellard's on the sideline. Here's the play action, and Goodman was being ridden down by Carlton Williamson, and a flag's fly.
The move was a little bit early that time, I think, by Carlton, but I think he smelled that out right away and was thinking interception.
little different formation, almost the same pattern he just broke up the pass on.
This would be the judge right here from ground level.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, first down.
Duma, the Penn Stater, that was interfered with by Williamson. A pretty good motion man, though.
Yeah, that U-back thing, does a lot of blocking. He sacrifices himself. Gooman told us he's number 44. Take a look at this, and he can help with the call a little bit. Looks like Carlin might have his arm hooked there, and maybe that's what they called it.
I think the officiating has been excellent. I think it's been sparse,
it's been good. It sure has.
Football is still a contact game. 1st and 10, the toss, back to Dickerson.
Wow.
Dickerson hit at the 37.
Carter, rookie, that kid came all the way from nose tackle. What a play.
Seems to me like he's a little bit irritated. There's college football next Saturday on CBS Sports. Many of you will see the Iowa Hawkeyes take on the Wisconsin Badgers in Big Ten action. Those of you out west will see USC battle Pac-10 rival Stanford, as the two former teams of coaches John Robinson and Bill Walsh will go at it next Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Time, right here on CBS Sports. There's nothing more fun on Saturday than college football. 2nd down, 9. Kemp now wanting to run, it looks like. And he fumbles the ball, but he's in the grass at the 29-yard line. No turnover. Michael Carter undressed the young quarterback.
I tell you, Michael Carter's had a pretty good game. That time it was a blitz. Ellison was in there with him. And the second effort by Carter. Creates the sack. There's Ricky Ellison. He ended up with a football and was sinking 6 points, but they called him in the grasp. That was Michael Carter.
49ers, in fact, Tuiasa Sopo, Manu told us that they don't get credit for getting much pressure on, but today they've gotten 3 sacks of this young man.
In several hurries.
3rd down and 17. Rams on their own 29. On a pressure, throws it in. The young quarterback from Dartmouth is out. He can run to the 40, to the 42. Eric Wright butted him there.
So there's another one that won't show up in the sack department. But they flushed him right out of the pocket with their pressure. More than anything, though, it was just good job downfield covering. Kemp just can't find anyone open. And then this has to run for his life to get out of that pocket.
And having to throw every play, they're beginning to get the outside angles and go, aren't they? Visco into punt. He's a good kicker. McLemore is back. This is a tremendous boot here. McLemore at the 10. McLemore, look out, he's loose. McLemore finally upset at the 31-yard line. Dana McLemore had it in gear. It's a good thing they caught him. Crowed it, caught him from behind.
This is a Mustang LX that comes with reclining bucket seats. That comes with AM/FM stereo with premium sound. Comes with power steering, power brakes, power door locks. Comes with interval wipers, speed control, and styled road wheels. And it goes for less than $6,900. Mustang LX. Have you driven the best-built American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
What gets America moving when the weather turns cold? Prestone. What keeps football heroes on the go?
Prestone. Why does your car need a fresh fill of Prestone? A radiator could look this bad after just 10,000 miles of driving on weak, neglected antifreeze, while a Prestone radiator looks this good. That's the Prestone difference.
What gets the country set for winter from New York to San Antonio? America goes with Prestone.
Young Jeff Kemp got a cut on the chin for that last sack, but you know something, he's handled the publicity and all the focus of attention extremely well. He's going to wear well in this league. The dash left and roll by Montana gets it to Cooper to the 47-yard line. Montana running left and throwing to the tight end.
Usually they'll slide somebody out with Montana on that. That time he just took it alone out there and bootlegged it on Doss.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, San Francisco 26, the Rams zip. Now pause for a word from your local station.
Next Saturday, Wisconsin will try to derail Iowa's Rose Bowl Express or see a Pac-10 tussle between USC and Stanford. College football next Saturday on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
I'm a career counselor. I'm paid to teach people how to manage their careers. And I'll tell you, the people who are successful, the people who advance in their careers are the people who know how to use the telephone. They call, they stay in touch, they get themselves known. Your opportunities come from linking with people. You widen your business opportunities, you widen your career opportunities. Call, stay in touch.
The most successful business calls are personal.
There's trouble on the horizon. Trouble for the competition, that is. Because your Datsun dealer has something no one else in Northern California has. 12 different 1985 Nissan truck models, each with a 5-speed overdrive transmission, plush side, double-wall bed, and a standard engine with the most combined power and torque of any compact truck in America. Whether it's a sport truck, long bed, king cab, or 4x4, if you want to find out what Major Motion is all about, drive an 85 Nissan truck at your Nissan Datsun dealer now.
Notice they cut the highway funds. Wonder what they're going to do about that.
Not long ago, an airplane left Portland, Oregon for Washington, D.C. Its cargo was a beer.
I think it's the most marvelous beer I've ever tasted.
A beer brewed in Oregon.
You, can't get it here.
The old-fashioned, traditional way.
Shame.
Oh, Senator, I thought you might like a bottle of Henry's to take along home.
Henry Weinhardt.
Welcome back to Anaheim, California. Looking at Vince Ferragamo. He's not dressed for the game, of course. He was 1-2 this year as a starter. Had a bone injured on his gun hand, the right hand, so he is watching as young Kemp tries to solve that difficult San Francisco defense. Montana, by the way, is 289 yards for the day already. Inside handoff. Tyler tries to hide.
Wendell Tyler.
Irvin and Owens and others. A lot of language going on down there, Wayne, on the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're going to talk to Wendell anyway down there because they all know him so well, and he knows them. He was here for so many years. You know, we talked to John Robinson. We asked him, you know, if you had it to do over again, would you trade Wendell Tyler to the 49ers? I mean, and John, you know, I don't want to second guess myself, he said, but it was the best deal we could make at the time. But I would rather that Wendell was playing somewhere like Buffalo rather than for Bill Walsh.
And have to face him twice each season. Robinson, the toss back to Tyler, who recovers and then fumbles back. And number 52 for the Rams, Andrews, recovers the fumble. The third lost fumble for Tyler in 1984.
Never did quite have the handle on that toss from Montana here. Let's see if we can pick up and see what happened. Boy, good camera work, and it just kind of hit him in the hip, and he juggled it. Now, if you don't think Montana's a football player, watch him, number 16. Stay in on the action. They'll get up and take it right here to see who makes that tackle. It will be Joe Montana.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't have pinstripes and rock and roll? Who says you can't get ahead without losing your soul? Who says you can't taste life without it taking its toll? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
Michelob Light. Super premium taste in a less filling beer. Who says you can't have it all?
Who says you can't work for somebody and live for you? Who says you can't have your life and love it too? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
You ready for this? Next Sunday on CBS, it all starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time. You'll see the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles will meet the Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay takes on Minnesota. Or you might see Green Bay against New Orleans. Those of you in Southern California and most of the Midwest will see these Los Angeles Rams and the St. Louis Cardinals. 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific Next Sunday here on CBS.
Philadelphia playing Detroit. Our two old teams. We're doing that game. I'm warning you now. I'm wearing my helmet.
They would tape it up. Whatever it takes. A big turnover. Recovered fumble by the Rams. Kemp is back. Hill has it and fumbles the football. It's close. San Francisco went after it like a bunch of hornets. Recovered by Hill. First completion of the day. David had it and came down and fumbled it.
Yes, he did. You saw him get up right there, shaking his head a little bit. He's having a hard time with the handle on it today. McGlock slips over the middle. Ricky Ellison is making some big hits out there today. That's about the third fumble that he's caused.
What a tough recovery of the fumble. He had to give himself up, the big fella. Second down and 6. Kemp, very active and a very strong-armed young quarterback. The toss, the sprint out right. Going for the sidelines, and it's knocked away. Drew Hill was the intended receiver. I believe Hicks just reached around and flipped it away. Last time the shutout was by the Steelers in 1981. 24-0.
And what he's thinking right now, right? He's starting to think wild card now. He said that if he did not beat the 49ers this game, they could almost say goodbye to any division titles and then have to think wild card in the playoffs like they did last year.
And of course, the second place team in this division would have a good shot at a wild card. Looked like somebody jumped. Did the tackle Pankey move too fast, or the defensive end move too quickly?
Ball start, number 75 on the offense.
Pankey trying to get into a pass blocking position. You know, Bob Frederick is the president of a very good firm, the official down here, and if you had made him decide between working as a businessman successfully and being an NFL official, he would rather take this abuse and all the attention. It's a remarkable profession that they are certainly involved in. Today, the officials have done a very fine job letting the football players play. Third down and 11. Kemp on a 5-step drop. Now he's hit hard by number 76, Dwayne Ford. All the way back to the 45.
49ers in their nickel defense had a line stun that time. They were looping and twisting, but more than anything, downfield is what caused that sack. They had good tight coverage, and Kemp had nowhere to go. Watch the action going on up in front. There it's 97 is Big Hands Johnson. Carter comes to the outside, boards down in over the middle, and after it breaks down, it's Board that'll get credit for the sack.
Misko's punt from the 40. He's punted very well. McLemore has run back very well. On his knees, the fair catch at the 15. Looked like that the offensive line tried to pick up that stunt and shift it off and then just didn't make the blocks on the pattern, huh?
That's exactly right. The Rams have never been shut out in this stadium since they moved here, Brookie.
Illegal receiver downfield, which means the outside man must have released or somebody did too early covering the punt. Robinson very quiet on the sidelines now. 13:03 left in the game.
An ineligible member of the kicking team downfield, number 90. Penalty will be refused. It'll be a 1st and 10 for San Francisco.
Robinson, he said the team did not play well in losing to Atlanta, but with the kid at quarterback, they had won 4 out of 5 until today.
This is today's Chevrolet.
Come on in, take the wheel, start it up, get the feel of the road that goes on. Straight ahead, on your own, the light turns green and you're going on the road that goes on. The road goes on. You're today Chevy, be today Chevy, drive today Chevy, live today Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy. There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's make
exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you going, it's Michelob.
Next week on CBS Sports Saturday, 2 World Championship fights. Billy Costello puts his title on the line in front of a wild hometown crowd in Kingston, New York, against former champion Leroy Haley. And then Jaime Garza, who holds the most impressive record in boxing. Check this out. Jaime's got 40 wins, no losses, and 38 KOs. You think he isn't mean? Meets Juan Kid Meza. Also special performances by the 84 World Figure Skating Champs. The last time to enjoy Torville and Dean as amateurs. And, of course, a live performance by America's brightest new star, Tiffany Chen, all next week, starting at 3:30 Eastern Time on CBS Sports Saturday. Montana, with 13 minutes left on the clock, will eat it up. Craig to the outside, fumbles, tries to recover his own fumble, and the Rams look like they have it and are surging toward the end zone. Rams have the football.
I think it was 71, Reggie Doss, the defensive end, who made the strip on Roger Craig over there. He got some penetration. It looked like he's the one that hammered the ball out. Number 52 right there is George Andrews, the linebacker.
49ers only lost 5 fumbles coming in. They lose 2 in the last 2 plays.
Check it right here now. 71 out there. Tough to see. I think it was, yes. Yes, it was Reggie Doss, 71, the defensive end, who created that fumble.
You think back to the closing seconds of the first half when the team got 1st and goal from the 4 and didn't get anything but a fumble out of the end zone. And now they're deep inside again at the 4-yard line, 1st and goal.
I know we mentioned it earlier, but how tough the 49ers have been all season long with teams taking possession inside their 10-yard line. They've had some magnificent goal line stands so far this year.
Kemp has gotten his instructions. More in control, he says, of the audible situation as each game progresses. But he says if you audibilize, you better be right. You better make a touchdown or a completion. 1st and goal from the 4. Good numbers. Toss back to Dickerson. It's being strung out by the 49ers. He stopped at the 5. McCall made the tackle at Ellison, and number 27 forced very early Carlton Williams.
He was getting ready to gather himself to make a cut here and has just lost his footing. Let's watch it. Here's the toss. How many times have people that played USC seen that play? Robinson brought that William, and Dickerson did just slip down.
Robinson's day at SC, he had Charlie White, who was a Heisman and Maxwell Award winner, and then, of course, he followed that up with a fellow named Marcus Allen. He took one look at Dickerson at SMU and said, that's our man.
Yep.
Good choice. Dickerson ran a 9.600 as a junior in high school. That's 218. Play action. Kemp trying to force it a little bit. Ellard was covered closely by Hicks again.
Hicks has been having a good coverage day. The free safety,
The kid threw that one away, do you think? Or
I don't think so. I think what he wanted to do was throw it where only Ellard could get to it, and that would be a little bit short, so he could use his body and protect it against Hicks. But he just didn't quite pull the string on this one. Plan pattern is kind of a comeback right here, and he threw it behind him.
But Hicks has played some game covering.
Yes, he has.
Very fast defender. What a game. 3rd down. And goal from the 5. The rollout being chased. Going for the end zone and out of the end zone. Jim Thonhorse chased the quarterback, and Dickerson had no play in the end zone.
They haven't, in these goal line situations, most of it that he kind of rolled out that way, I think, on his own that time, trying to buy a little extra time. They haven't had what you'd really call a pass run option for him down in these situations, and it's almost kind of what you needed, especially back on 1st down.
4th and goal from the 5. Lansford, of course, does not even kick into a net. You need touchdowns, a lot of 26-0. San Francisco. Fourth down. Pass. Out of bounds.
Out of bounds, and boy, I tell you, those Niners are tough inside that 10-yard line.
Drew Hill, covered by Eric Wright. man-to-man coverage in the toughest situation in football.
Kemp has plenty of time here, but the Niners coming on a blitz, but it's picked up pretty good. Dickerson out over the middle. And he just ran out of real estate.
You know, when your secondary plays the sidelines and the end zones, like you said, as well as that, it's very hard to get that completion. It's still 26-0, San Francisco.
This is today's Chevrolet, and this is today's Chevrolet. This Chevrolet is specially modified for the International Race of Champions. This is the new Camaro IROC Z28 built for you. Chevrolet encourages the use of selected parts and components by race teams, and that helped us build this Chevrolet. World champions drive this Camaro, but the Camaro IROC Z28 makes you feel like a champion.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy. Chevy.
In this uncertain and bewildering world of personal computers, the Tandy 2000 stands apart. In power, speed, and graphics, the Tandy 2000 is clearly superior. For service, support, and software, Tandy is clearly superior. Available exclusively at Radio Shack Computer Centers. Compare. You too will immediately recognize Tandy technology, service, and support are clearly superior.
Monday, when Chris and an ex-lover are assigned to the same beat.
What are you doing here?
It threatens to shatter the team of Cagney and Lacey.
I am not in love with him. He just upsets me.
Last week, Walsh's team had a 97-yard drive against the Oilers. They've already had a 95-yard drive against Los Angeles, and they're on their own 5-yard line right now. Montana to Clark to the 24. Let's go to New York City now and an update with Brent Musburger. Brent?
Rookie, it is all but over in the Meadowlands. Joe Morris has run for 3 touchdowns, and the Redskins are just unable to stop the Giants today. It's now 30-6. Let's go back to Brookie and Wade.
Well, joy in Mudville tonight, boy. New York's going to go crazy over there.
A lot of 5 and 4 teams in the NFL, too, isn't there?
Yeah, and a lot of games left. We just started into the second half. Handoff, Wendell Tyler. Crawley out over the 30 to the 32. Wendell's mad. He fumbled his last toss attempt. I think he wants to assert a little bit of influence into this. I am a different back than I was when I was with the Rams. Weighing over 205 pounds now, and he can hide behind blockers. He uses blockers very well.
Well, he's been an inspiration to the offensive line here. They just have to give him, it's like the guy on the other team. You just give him a little crack, a little seam, and they'll hit it and get a whole lot for you.
DeJournay, young man, is in it from San Jose State. He's in at the nose tackle position. Solomon out to the right. A big day. 2nd down and 2, straight ahead. Craig has what looks like is a first down comfortably. Next Sunday on the NFL Today, Irv Cross profiles the pride and joy of the Lone Star State. Dallas Cowboy lineman Randy White, the great All-Pro. The best in the game? That's a question, and you'll see it next Sunday on the NFL Today.
I sure wouldn't want to go to him and tell him he's not.
Especially in the 4th quarter. He beats on people till by the 4th quarter they're ready to take up another occupation. First down and 10 on the 36. 10 minutes left. 49ers, incredible football. Craig covering up to make sure of the fumble. Picks up 2 or 3 as Eckerd makes another tackle. This team lost 1 game. They were flat a little bit when we saw them play Philadelphia. The Steelers came into Candlestick Park, and it looked like San Francisco was going to win the game anyway, and Wershing just didn't tie the game up in the last seconds with a field goal he normally makes, but they were sort of flat, so they've gone up and down a little bit and still are 7-1 coming in today.
Well, they're just about the most efficient team I've seen, you know, especially mentally. They just don't make mistakes.
2nd down and 8. Blitz is on, but handled by San Francisco. Look at this throw. Clark gets back up. He's caught a ball now in 44 straight games, hadn't he?
Safety blitz this time, too, by the Rams. You'll see Nolan Cromwell. He'll be popping in from the right-hand side, but the 49ers pick it up. And Montana puts it down where only Clark is going to get it. Pretty safe throw right here.
Dwight Clark, as Green told us, he doesn't look like the fastest, but he's a lot faster than you think, and he's a lot bigger than people think he is.
He's 6'4", 215. The great thing about him, he is running, as you see his stat right there, he is running as fast in the fourth quarter as he is when the game started. He's got great stamina.
You can see the clock. 8:30 plus. The blitz is on. It's a toss back to Tyler. Waits for blocks that do not come, and the Rams are still hustling. Andrews and DeJarnay get over there. Good defensive effort. And the Rams defense has been on the field a long time.
Sure have. John Robinson told us, I'm glad you said they're still hustling, Berkey, because John Robinson said that one thing I don't have to worry about with this football team, this Los Angeles football team, is the fact that they will play hard every week. You know, we may not win every week, but we'll play hard every week. And you got to take into consideration, that was a fairly emotional game they had against Atlanta. Atlanta had beaten them the first time. They played on Monday night, played in Atlanta, had to make the travel, got back home, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning on Tuesday. And it takes a lot out of a team, that kind of situation.
Good point, but they are a very young team, and they're going to get nothing but better. The toss back to Craig inside the 45, 43. Scores from elsewhere around the NFL. Miami 31, Buffalo nothing, and that's not over yet.
Last time we looked, Marino had 3 touchdown passes in that one.
The Raiders 19-12 over Denver, and that's not over with yet. Reeves says his team refuses to do anything but win games. St. Louis 34, Philadelphia 14. A very big game for Hannifin's St. Louis Cardinal team.
Well, they're the new scoring machine, aren't they?
And Chicago 16-7. They haven't lost a game when McMahon was healthy and played quarterback for them. But here's Clark, who had 80-yarder last week, shaking off people and scoring again. Dwight Clark on a slant beat Leroy Irvin.
And what were we just talking about him? How he can fool you with his speed, and how, you know, the longer he runs, seemingly the faster he goes. An 80-yard touchdown catch last week against Houston, longest of his career. And right here again on just really kind of a short slant in. They wanted 12, 15 yards out of it, but he broke a tackle and takes it all the way in.
10th round draft choice.
And a pretty good 10th round draft choice.
Johnny Robinson not impressed.
You know, Clark, as you're looking at him, said that, you know, I had no background as a receiver until I got to the 49ers. I didn't catch the ball very much in college, and he credits it all to Bill Walsh.
Where is he? The noted accountant of Northern California drills through another extra point. A lot of celebrating. And a nice flight back to the Bay Area for this team.
Good throw here by Montana now. I told you what Clark ran, just a slant in right here. Irvin's 47, and he just runs away from him. He had him grasped at one time, but he just tore him out of his arms, and look at the big guy's stride. Just runs as fast as he has to, doesn't he?
And you know, linebackers get really tired by the fourth quarter, and you don't get that under support that you sometimes need as a secondary man.
Look at this right here. Not a bad day for him. 21 of 31 now, Montana is, for 365 yards. One of his bigger days.
Those are numbers.
You know people like us. We're teachers. Firemen. People just like you. These are the uniforms we wear at work.
But these are the uniforms we wear when we serve part-time in the reserves and the National Guard.
You see, in the reserves and the Guard, you not only serve your country,
You're part of a first-rate team.
Training alongside real buddies.
Yet while you serve, you can live at home.
And keep your full-time job.
Because in the reserves and the Guard, you don't have to give up one life to live another.
The reserves and the National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
And when me and my friends want to relax, nothing works like a Chevy S10 Maxi Cab.
So bring out the sun, bring out the fun. You got to go, let's get on and run.
Get yourself a 4x4 sport truck taken to the max with Instatrack 4-wheel drive and rugged off-road package. Chevy S10 Maxi Cab.
Now that's what I call relaxation.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Nothing.
NFL action next Sunday on CBS starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern. You'll see the Giants and the Cowboys. That's suddenly a football game now, isn't it? The Eagles meet the Lions. Tampa Bay will take on Minnesota, or Green Bay against New Orleans. Those of you in Southern California, lucky people, and most of you in the Midwest will see these same Los Angeles Rams and the St. Louis Cardinals at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific on CBS. Cavanaugh, the reliever who did so well for a game and a half for San Francisco, is warming up, so Montana will rest. You see Drew Hill is not going to run this one out.
Say that Montana's 365 yards. As you look at Cavanaugh, that's the 5th best 49er passing day ever. Montana's got, I think, 4 of them, and Y.A. Tittle has the other.
I think we did that game when Montana beat St. Louis that day, remember?
That was the first game back, I think, from the strike 2 years ago when he threw for 408 yards. And there's Dwight Clark.
Dwight Clark, remember Russ Francis, the great tight end, it has been put on the injured list with that jam neck. So they had to take up some slack at different positions, and they certainly have done that. 2 95-yard touchdown drives in the same game. I don't know if I've ever seen a team do that. The 49ers have. 1st and 10 from the 20. Kemp still firing. In the grass, got to go as a sack by Stuckey, number 79.
Stuckey's another one of those effort guys that the 49ers have, and a lot like we talked to the Rams players up there. They're not real big, and they're not going to physically overpower you down after down, but they keep hustling with 2nd and 3rd effort. This is just a matter of sticking to it and wanting to get to the quarterback and not giving up when you're blocked the first time. Stuckey breaks through this now on a kind of a spin move up the middle. And he was working against the center, Smith, Doug Smith, who got the sack.
Bill Frio, my spotter, my eyes up here, tells me this is the worst shutout for the Rams since 1942 when the Bears beat them 33-0. Barry Redden getting drilled. Here's the man responsible for a lot of it. The quarterback, last week's NFC Player of the Week with his numbers and his great performance against the Houston Oilers. He handles it well. The good and the bad. Good day, Joe. Boy, does he like that guacamole dip. A week ago, he had a whole bowl while we just talked to him a little bit. He's a very likable person and a hard worker. It's 3rd down and 17 from the 13. Kemp throwing long. Intercepted by Lott, I believe, at the 32-yard line.
Much the same as the interception earlier that Eric Wright got. It was just underthrown again by Kemp. He's he's going for broke, but he underthrew that one again. And Lott was in good shape. Here it is right here. This is a planned rollout, a dash. You see the blocker out in front of him. And he just winds up and cuts it loose. Looked like he's throwing a javelin. He had about a three-yard run at it, but Lott's in great shape. Right here with his head nice, turned back, playing the ball. Uses his body a little bit to block Drew Hill away like a rebounder and came down with it.
Young Kemp threw that 65 yards in the air, and Ronnie Lott got his 3rd interception.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way, moving up. You were always the one who's eager to try. You're on your way to the top, and along the way, you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's meant for long.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's meant for long. Way you work and play, you've got it going your way. You love to share the way you feel. Michelob. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's meant for long. Where you're going, it's meant for long.
Wednesday, a woman is consumed by burning passion for one man and deadly hatred for another.
He has the eyes of a rapist.
Kevin Dobson stars in Sweet Revenge.
Most of you people know this anyway, but tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, then Murder, She Wrote. The Jeffersons, Alice, and Trapper John, M.D. It's one of the favorite shows of football players everywhere, Trapper John. Kavanaugh's in. The young man out of Pitt. He's a 210-pounder. Did a good job. Beat the Eagles. Took over the New Orleans game and finished that team off. Hands off now to Bill Ring.
Montana did have that rib injury earlier in the year, and that's why Kavanaugh had to start against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Rushing, San Francisco 70. The great rushing team, 72, the Rams.
Nickerson was not a factor, and you know, we don't, of course, a lot of it had to do with tough 49er defense, and I also wonder, Tom, how much, you know, not practicing all week hurt a young player. You know, older players can get by with that a little bit, but it's the young guys that really need to practice time. Dickerson, regardless of ability, is still young.
Handoff, Kavanaugh to Derek Harmon. Now you put the Frosh in now, and they want to run up the score. You got to be very careful. There he is, a man that plays, whether he's hurt or whether he's healthy. Marcus Allen's roommate when Marcus was a junior at USC, and Ronnie Lott's quite an incredible human being. Still single, right?
Yeah, one of the, you know, just really one of the big hitters I've ever seen play defensive back, and especially Euro position at cornerback. And he led the team in tackles last year by 30 more than anyone else from the cornerback spot.
Amazing. What a draft. Secondary. All in one swoop. Kavanaugh threads it into Nehemiah just short of midfield. Only one team that the 49ers will face the rest of the schedule that's over 500.
It's the Rams.
And that's the Rams. So their schedule really, there are no downhill runs, but they've got a pretty good way to go. Giants leading Washington. Boy, what a shocker. Not close. And who is Joe Morris, right? Miami, 38, Buffalo, nothing. That's no surprise either. Christian Penn now. Ring inside the 45 to the 43. A whole plane load or two came down from the Bay Area to support and incredibly wear red in this stadium today. What'd you say? They all got the same section, so they sat next to one another, right? Kansas City winning. New Orleans winning in the last few seconds. That bum's boots were pulled up pretty tight on that game right there.
Our old friend Raymond Berry got a win in his first head coaching job today for New England.
Well, he's such a nice guy. I can't believe he took a head coaching job. That's pressure. Second down and 3. Derek Harmon, the Cornell rookie. What a little young player he is. Reggie Doss made the stop there. Boy, this Ram defense has been out there a lot. Dallas 22, Indianapolis 3. Danny White. New England 30-20. There's your new Patriot score. Cincinnati beating Houston 31-13. I wonder how Warren Moon did.
Oh, that surprises me a little. When we saw Houston last week, I thought they were right on the verge of jumping up and scaring somebody pretty badly.
All right, Cincinnati's got a lot of talent on that squad. If they ever get it together, they can hurt somebody. Third down and a couple for a first down. Just trying to run it out now with a little over 2 minutes left. This would be the 4th straight win the 49ers have had on this natural turf, which is sort of different for them to play on real grass and play so well.
Their home park candlestick is real turf. You see Wendell Tyler getting the rest. Derek Harmon in there now for him. Wendell, you know, not the biggest number day he certainly had, but he's happy to come back here against his old mates and get any kind of win.
He's ready to go, and he's still healthy. It's 33-0 San Francisco.
Looks like you're into winning.
You bet.
Then today Chevrolet has a car for you, Cavalier.
Come on in, and you'll know. Turn it on, let it go. It's at your command.
2 liters of electronically fuel-injected power, front drive agility, and optional sport suspension. Cavalier. Grab one.
If this is today's Chevrolet, it's a winner.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy.
Look who's entered the personal computer game now.
Can I get in on this?
Go ahead. Introducing the AT&T Personal Computer for Business. It's fast and flexible, runs most business software, and has a high-resolution screen for superb graphics. In short, everything you need to put your business ahead of the game.
Your move.
The AT&T Personal Computer. For the dealer nearest you, call 1-800-247-1212.
Next Sunday on CBS, it all starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time. You'll see the Giants and the Cowboys. The Eagles will meet the Lions. Tampa Bay takes on Minnesota, or you might see Green Bay against New Orleans. Those of you in Southern California and most of the Midwest will see the Rams and the St. Louis Cardinals at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific Time, next Sunday here on CBS. $65,481. The blackout was lifted. And boy, this is a case of two California teams getting together, and 49ers are simply the best team right now around that we've seen. $33-0. Derek Harmon. The Ivy Leaguer gets inside the 25.
The Ivy League Player of the Year last year. Out of Cornell, the 49ers spotted him at a rookie tryout camp where several of the teams brought in a lot of prospective rookies that they weren't sure about. And they held it up in Seattle. Coaching staffs from several teams went out there and looked at about 60, 70 players, and he caught the 49ers staff's eye, and they drafted him.
Pretty good move. They've got a lot of young players that are role players, and they like it. But they all get to play, so they get on the plane with Coach Walsh and company and go back, and they feel like they're part of this game. A few bruises. Harmon bouncing outside. Gets hit hard at the 20. We'd like to thank the people that make it possible. The executive producer of CBS Sports Coverage is Terry O'Neill. Thank you, Terry. Senior producer from the Western Slope of Colorado, Charles H. Milton III, Red Eye. Producer Bob Dekas, and a special thought for Bob Dunphy, our able director today, because his dad, Don Dunphy, the great old boxing announcer, was on Charlie Corral's CBS Sunday Morning this morning, and it was a beautiful show, and he ought to be very proud of his son, who's doing such a great job in the truck. And all the people that have strung up the cable and gotten it ready for this real good game. This is good football. 49er style. Bill Ring piles in there. They are not a killer of a team. I know with a 33-0 score, it's hard to say that. But they're not the kind of team that knocks everybody out.
Well, like I said, they're just so efficient. You know, Bill Walsh says you can probably get emotionally high maybe 6 times a year, maybe every third week. And said those other times, those are the times you just have to play on your ability. And they've got a ton of it on that ball club.
And Seifert yesterday, the defensive coordinator, had the defensive players on Saturday afternoon now in giving them sort of special nuances, special defenses for young Kemp, I guess, and Dickerson. But they can keep adding to it, and they don't confuse their players. Less than 30 seconds. Ring for a loss. Rams are now fighting for a good table in the restaurant near the windows. They're going to let it go. They will meet again at Candlestick Park. Montana